5 years ago, the U.S. brought leaders from Israel, Morocco, the United Arab Emirates, and Bahrain together to sign the Abraham Accords. I'm Megan Alexander, and this is Middle East Tomorrow. Go to partners.foxnews.com/Met.
Prime's exclusive wildcard playoff game is Saturday night. Jordan Love and the Packers take on Caleb Williams and the Bears. Not a Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to stream the game.
That's going to be caught for the touchdown.
NFC North rivals square off in the latest chapter of the NFL's oldest feud. The Packers and Bears in Prime's exclusive wildcard playoff game. Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Only on Prime. Sign up for a 30-day free trial today. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
Oh, live from New York, the show that is fired up for Wild Card Weekend. First hour, first things first.
I'm gonna laugh all show, man. That was serious.
I'm serious. First hour, first things first.
That was really funny, KW.
Today, Hurricanes storm into the national championship. Gianna, look, I'm doing the U.
Giannis.
Oh, the U down, that is, like that guy.
Instant classic.
That is right.
I like the U down a lot.
And all of a sudden, we have, because also Jeffrey, we have multiple U alums, fans on the
Don't think
staff.
about Jeff Schwartz and me.
Ducks fans. I thought you were going for Indiana, but
I don't know. Here I am.
yeah.
Meanwhile, in the NFL, Wild Card Weekends means a special edition of Most to Gain with a bonus. Most to Lose. Always a fresh one.
Michael Jordan will be
No.
somehow, some way, Nick will find a way to
there is a twist, but I couldn't get Jordan on this.
And finally, which team is on upset alert with a special bonus edition? 3 bonus picks.
I got a little twist about upset alert too.
Wow.
Now what can
is
that
that?
possibly mean?
I
bet I know what it is.
Really?
No, tell me.
A hint is my old ways.
There are no upsets.
A classic.
That was
no upsets.
Drew did that one.
That must have been a really
There'll
good
be
hint.
no upsets. Just so you know, given the fact that there's 5
But
upsets.
I did pick one just to pick one, but I don't think that.
If you would have said, if your pick would have been no upsets.
Oh, is that on the board?
Points.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I do think there's going to be.
Christmas
I
card.
don't give
Nick
everything
Wright,
away.
Kevin Wildes. We're starting with the Hurricanes. They are headed to a home national championship game. 4 lead changes in the fourth. Carson Beck scrambling into the end zone for the deciding touchdown. A Hail Mary from Trinidad comes up empty.
It's a little small.
Well, it's just kind of
It's just a little
silver
small,
medal.
yeah.
Here's Carson
It's not
Beck.
the big one.
There's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of adversity that not only I faced individually, but that we faced as a team. And we really banded together and showed that we believe in connection, that we don't just fake it, that this team is really a family. And if our team really wasn't like that, I don't know if this win happens tonight. You know, we really band together. We believed in each other, and we never flinched in the face of adversity.
Okay, we'll face the winner of Oregon, Indiana. Play tonight. Brew, what was your number 1 takeaway?
Oh, you don't like Dusty's new favorite question.
Oh.
The headline.
Because this gets
You
Brew
told
an
me to
opportunity.
ask for.
I'm saying on the rundown it says what's the headline.
Yeah,
I like headline.
Which I'm not high on unless we're going to do a whole back page.
This is Brew's workaround to doing Monday morning headlines.
That would be great.
No,
This is what he's doing.
I'm not. Look, I came up with a headline because it was on the but it's not no back page.
I'll take it though.
And my headline isn't my general take, but Miami is 1 win away from returning to the U.
Yes.
They have to win it to be the U.
They're not the U yet.
This is
Right now
not
they're
the
just
return.
Miami.
The return wasn't about being close,
you.
being one of the best teams in the country. The return about was win. They got 5 national championships in 20 years or in 18 years even. So they win it, they are officially back. That's my headline. But my general takeaway, look, I wanted Ole Miss. I said it, last week, earlier this week, because of the Lane Kiffin situation. But honestly, it's full of good stories. This is a great story. This is a former powerhouse returning possibly to the mountaintop. If Indiana wins, it's just the most remarkable turnaround maybe in the history of the sport. And even if Oregon wins, it's at least their first national championship. They've been good for a while. They don't have as compelling of a story as the other 3, I don't think. but that's still a first national championship. But my takeaway from this game is, it wasn't as close as the score, I don't think. And Ole Miss had a legitimate chance to win.
But you thought Miami dominated the
I thought
play.
And again, legitimate chance to win. I actually, Nick, I don't want to make too much out of this. I know this is a big thing for a lot of people. I do think it was pass interference. I do think it was definitely pass interference, but if they had called it, I would not be up in arms because it was not like just your run-of-the-mill Hail Mary. You know what I mean? Like where it's just guys in a group and everybody kind of jumps for the ball. Like he had a legitimate chance to make that play. Now, I'm not going to go crazy about them not making the call because I just don't do that in general. We've seen bad calls decide games before or missed calls, whatever you want to call this. I'm not going crazy about it. But if they had called it, I wouldn't have been upset because I do think it was legitimately that. But to the point I made, I do think Miami pushed them up and down the field.
They were more physical.
Yeah, that's the thing. They were way more physical. They pushed them up and down the field. Ole Miss they held Ole Miss generally to field goals, but for a few big plays. They had the 73-yard touchdown run. But Miami was the more physical team. They looked like the better team overall. But Ole Miss almost stole it with some great big plays. And that was kind of general. The best team won.
The better team won. They're the last team that got into the field. And, they're the 10 seed, but they were the last team that didn't have an auto bid that got in. There was controversy about it. And they are clearly one of the best teams. It's good that they got in. And that was an all-time college football playoff game. Yeah. The gold standard of my lifetime is USC Texas. That is in a class by itself, maybe for college or professional playoff games of my adult life, given the stakes, who was involved, the quality of the teams. This game wasn't that, but this game was as good of and we have had some really good college football playoff games, like not
Clemson with Deshaun Watson.
There have been some real classics and back and forth. The ending of this game was great by the entirety of the fourth quarter, and Malachi Toney, who's 18 years old, he was 11 years old when Carson Beck started college.
That's incredible.
He's 11 years old when Carson Beck stepped on Georgia's campus for the first time. And now he's catching passes from him, and his brilliance opened up the game-winning touchdown. Carson Beck ends up having a total clear path to the end zone because everyone justifiably is afraid that he's going to do something like that. The story of the game was third downs. Ole Miss on 10 third downs, KW, gained a combined 0 yards. That's not great. They converted 2 of them, but on other ones they lost yards. So Ole Miss was 2 for 10 for 0 total yards on third down. And Miami, on the 14-play, 75-yard drive, 3rd and 2, ran it up the middle. 3rd and 8, the face mask on the sideline. 3rd and 6, the lunge for the first down. 3rd and 10, maybe Beck's best play of the game, the dart when it was like, oh man, they're going to have to settle for a tough field goal in this spot if you don't pick it up just to tie it. And so I thought that it was an awesome game. I thought the right team won, to Brew's point. And I want to shout out Mario Cristobal, who is very Miami. Miami, our most Cuban city, is a Cuban American who's from there, his roots are from the city, and then went to Miami, was at Oregon, and then left Oregon to go back to Miami to take care of an ailing parent, takes over Miami, and a lot of very criticized early on. I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago, like he botched kneel downs, the game management stuff, and now a game away from what would be a shocking national champion. From before the season, and
early
certainly
on when they beat Notre Dame, you start thinking, but then they lost.
Losing to SMU and those things, and the path being on the road against A&M. They're beating the game last week against Georgia, and now this. That's a hell of a hard path for them.
They'll be at home.
I know that, which is interesting.
Quickly before we move on to Josh Allen. super macro. SEC shut out of the national championship again. So here's the stat. SEC teams to reach the national championship game from 03 to 22, 20 teams.
20 out of 40.
From 23 to 25, 0.
It's very clear why. The NIL, the portal. That's like they're not. It comes down now to who's going to pay. Now, Indiana obviously is a little different, but for the most part, it comes down
Big Ten
to we can
but
get
it's not like,
now. Even if I'm not the big name that Alabama or LSU is, I can pay you enough to get this superstar player that would have went there.
Right. I just think it has. So that to me, KW almost reminds me of if we did a version of like AFC champions over the last 20 years, and it was like Chiefs, Patriots on one side and then everybody else on the other. That graphic to me was a Nick Saban and Georgia stat. Like, you know what I mean? That was Alabama, LSU a little bit on Saban. LSU, Bama, Georgia just had more talent than everyone else.
Absolutely.
And now to Bruce's point, because of the NIL, the talent is dispersed more evenly amongst 20 teams instead of amongst 5.
Sure.
And so that's what I think. I don't think it's about the SEC falling off as much as it is that there's a lot more equal playing field.
Yeah,
if you
and
will.
Carson Beck moving around.
Yeah.
You know, it's something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did the Cavender twins flip the national championship? Maybe.
Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl at 7:30. Head to Florida where Josh Allen favored in Jacksonville against the prince who was promised. Here's tight end Dawson Knox.
Playoff speed's a real thing. I think, it's not really that you change anything throughout the week, but that mentality of like, this is what we worked the whole season for. This is what we've done all this work all year to prepare for. So now that mentality is just a little elevated. It's win or go home. So I think playoff speed's a real thing, and we're going to see Superman put on his cape this week.
So here's first half, second half, Josh Allen. Two ways to look at this. Josh Allen puts his cape on in the second half and goes Superman mode, or kind of starts slow. So whatever you want to
In fairness, quickly before you go, Nick, to Dawson Knox, it sounded like he said, I want to see Superman put on his cape.
Oh.
Versus gonna. That's a big difference.
Oh.
We're gonna see Superman put on his cape.
Interesting.
One is a desire, one's a prediction.
Are you expecting a Superman performance from Josh?
I mean, this is what he's always done this round. And Josh has unbelievable postseason numbers, and he has been a very good postseason player despite the inability to beat the Chiefs, which is really the only knock. Right. But the numbers are different after Wild Card Weekend. So while he is arguably the greatest Wild Card Weekend quarterback ever. Now, that's damning with faint praise a bit, and just like Brady didn't play many wild card games because there used to be 2 buys. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the great quarterbacks under the old system skipped this round a lot.
Has he played? Not to like put you on the spot.
No, I've got it.
Okay. He beat up on Mac Jones and the Patriots team that was flailing.
Who has he
beat
played?
Up on Trubisky last year.
No, I'll tell you.
Generally, you're going to play.
No, and they've never played. In my opinion, this is far and away the best team and the best quarterback he has faced this round, except for maybe the one loss he had this round, which was 2019 Deshaun Watson, Houston Texans. That Texans team that then the next week went up 24-0 on Kansas City before losing. To your point on that, KW, and this is another, I was going to use this later, but throw up the quarterback headshots. This is what it is. Josh Allen has beaten in the playoffs Mac Jones, Bo Nix, Mason Rudolph, or is that Mitch Trubisky? I think that's Mason Rudolph. It wasn't Trubisky. Skylar Thompson, I guess not that old anymore, Phillip Rivers, young old Phillip Rivers, and Lamar twice. He has lost to in the playoffs Deshaun Watson when he was good, Joe Burrow, and 4 versions of Patrick Mahomes. So
where's the principle?
Right. So, well, that's what's interesting, right? And so that's almost a separate conversation. But since you asked, I had it ready.
Right. It's not like he only beats back. I mean, Lamar.
No, but Lamar's the only one. Lamar's doing the work for him as far as having beaten quarterback that's in his weight class. But I know this has become controversial. I don't think it is. We always expect quarterbacks in Josh Allen's caliber to win in round one. Mm-hmm. So it is fair to expect Josh Allen to find a way, because I do think Jacksonville's better. I want to be clear overall. But I don't think it is such a talent discrepancy, players 2 through 53, that we should be like, man, it would take, it would be a shocking result for Josh Allen to be like, I'm the best player in the tournament. Yeah. So I'm not losing in round one of the tournament. And now again, if they lose, Brew, 38-35 because Trevor has the game of his life, I'm not going to come out here and beat up Josh Allen. But he has to be excellent.
Yeah, because it's not basketball. I mean, and I'm not trying to give him an out at all. But you're right. If he balls out and is great, and the run defense and Trevor balls out, or the defense gives up a ton of stuff. Because look, I do think we're going to see Superman, because that's what it's going to take, to your point, to beat this Jacksonville team. Jacksonville is tough. They had the 9th toughest schedule in the league and won 13 games. The only team with a tougher schedule to win more games, or as tough of a schedule to win more games, was Seattle. Yeah. All right? New England, and I'm not even trying to throw shade, Wilds.
That's what it is.
New England had, we know, the worst schedule, won 14 games. Denver had the 24th easiest schedule and won, or not the 24th toughest schedule.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
8th easiest, I guess, and won 14 games. So they beat five playoff teams, plus the Chiefs, plus Indianapolis twice, which at one point was a top team. So they have proven that they are a very good team. So I do think it's going to take Superman mode. They average 28 points a game. And here's the deal. When we see Superman is when we need to see Superman. Like the only games, the 3 games this year, he only threw for 300 or more yards 3 times. They were in games where the opponent scored 30 or more points. The games where he threw for 3 or more touchdowns, the opponent scored 30 or more points. When they score 15 or 14 or whatever, he doesn't go Superman mode. And we have this graphic. There were 5 games when the opponent scored 30 or more. Look at his numbers compared to the ones where they were under 30. That's when he goes crazy. And so I think it's going to take that. I think Jacksonville's going to be able to put up some points. And I think he will be up to the challenge.
Can I just totally unrelated, leave this graphic up just for a second? Next year, if Josh Allen does the Week 18 one snap thing to keep a streak alive, we're including that in his stats.
That's right. We have.
Like every year, we can't be like, poor Josh has to do all this weird stuff where it's like a start, it counts for his streak, but not for his stats.
Yep.
If he does it 3 years in a row, then all of a sudden his per game numbers are taking a hit.
It's your choice.
Honestly, it's beneath him.
Yeah.
Now it does hurt his overall stats, not in our little graphic, but it hurts his overall stats. But it's beneath him. I mean, who really? I get it. It is impressive if you play 200 straight games, whatever it is.
But who catches Favre? If he doesn't catch Favre,
it's not as big of a deal.
It's silly.
We get
I know,
it.
but I can't. I've vacillated on it.
You like it?
I've started to like it.
It's if he broke the record, it would be an asterisk.
Wow. Sorry.
I mean, maybe.
Us.
The only reason I've started
to like... Did Favre do that? Favre played.
No.
I
don't know. I mean, we have to double check it.
And most guys usually, if they are going to, like Week 18 when Peyton had a streak going, would play a series or two and throw a couple passes and then come out.
That's right.
The one snap handoff, get out of the game is weird. But that's not the topic here. I
do like that. The question, I think, is I don't even know if he's going to be the main character. I know it sounds crazy. Can the Bills run the ball? So Danny brought this up, and I dug into it. The Jags allow 86 yards per game rushing. The Bills, collectively, James Cook and Josh and everybody, they rush for 160, while the Jags have not allowed a team to run for over 158. Bills are 3-5 for when they rush under one. If they rush under 150 as a team, they're 3-5. So I don't know if they're going to keep on giving it to James Cook, try to break through, or if it's like, you know what, I guess I'm going to air the ball out now.
Well, part of Superman mode, a lot of times, is him running.
Yeah.
And so it might be some long runs from him.
Or that might not be available, though.
But the
think it'd be a story
scrambling
of the
is
game.
different. Him scrambling is different.
I just want to say one other thing on what's fair or not about Josh this weekend. Because, listen, I think the Jags are really, really good. I said it before. I think the winner of this game is going to end up going to the Super Bowl. But we are in an odd narrative place where when we are discussing a scenario in which Josh Allen doesn't get out of round one, when we think the path is somewhat clear for him to make the Super Bowl, one of the arguments defending him in that circumstance is, man, but they're playing such a tough, good team, as if he had no agency whatsoever in them not winning the division, in them not being the 5 seed instead of the 6 seed. Like, some of this is you have this tough first-round matchup because, as a point you made earlier in the year, to your credit, you lost to Atlanta. You lost to Miami. You know what I mean? You lost. There's no shame in it. But you didn't beat the Patriots twice. It would have been really hard to do, but had you done that, you win the division and you're the so that there is a bit of you made this bed, and so we expect you to have a chance to get out of it.
Never won a road playoff game, McDermott or Josh Allen. Chargers in New England. This one is Sunday night. I'll start with the dream scenario, end with the nightmare. Here's what Chad Finn wrote in the Boston Globe. This turnaround from 4 wins has happened so fast that it's almost difficult to fully process. Should the Patriots prevail, it will be the greatest confirmation yet of how quickly a football daydream has come true. Now, if it goes the other way, not good. What would a loss mean for Drake and the Patriots?
Well, that's a little bit of an overstatement.
What?
It won't be the greatest example of a football dream coming true.
Confirmation.
How about Cincinnati? Going from how many wins they win Burrow's rookie year? Bad franchise. He got hurt his rookie year. First full year he plays full. They go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
they beat Mahomes.
I give you a better one. How about the 99 Kurt Warner Rams?
Guys, it's just the greatest confirmation.
Okay, all right. Well,
whatever. That's some homerism. But anyway,
it's just about Patriots specific.
Okay.
If they a loss, what would a loss mean? Look, they have had a terrific season. There is no win or lose. It has been a great season for them.
Okay.
Because you have found your franchise quarterback who might win the MVP. You have found your head coach, and you won the division for the first time in a long time. You've kind of gotten out of the shadow to a large degree of Belichick and Brady.
Yes.
Okay. So win or lose, that's the case. But if they lose, it would diminish the team to some degree. Now, notice I said the team, not Drake Maye. If Drake Maye loses, it's a second-year quarterback losing his first playoff game. I don't think that diminishes him at all. Particularly, he's going against a very good quarterback and head coach. But if the team loses, to me, it brings into question, how good are they? Was this just a nice run, or a la Washington? I know Washington had injuries this year, or is this team here to stay? Was it just a nice run based on a weak schedule?
Correct.
Or are they really good? So I think all of those questions come into play if they lose. Not Drake Maye. You don't really question him, but you start to question the team if they lose. If they win, it's now, okay, they're going to be here for a while. If they lose, it's like,
it will, right or wrong, it will validate the loudest schedule voices.
Yes.
And I honestly don't think that I have been one, or this show has been. Wilds has been like shadow boxing against the loudest critics on that, which is totally legitimate because it's not like it's a fake story. But I don't think Brew or I or Coach or Greg at any point have been like Patriots frauds, beating up on it. It's come up in the context of, can they win the Super Bowl? Is their quarterback the MVP? Not in the context of, is this a really good team? So if they lose this game, listen, a 2 seed has lost in the NFL playoffs in 45 years. Now, that's a very unfair stat, but it is true. It's just true. Only
For
one
how many of those years?
Well, did the 2 seed have a bye?
Yeah.
40 of them, but still.
It's just data.
It's just the data. You got to go back. They'd be the second 2 seed since 1978 to lose.
But that was a bad loss. That kind of like stings
the Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Exactly right.
That was a terrible
It was
loss.
a terrible. But so
terrible
here's the other thing, though. And I have been as high on Drake as maybe anybody. If they lose, it pauses the Drake Maye ascent to superstardom.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair.
So if they lose this game, then, I've said I look at him as a top 5 guy already. It's going to be hard to argue him over Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Burrow, Stafford. If they lose. And then
the Burrow, it's weird, but
it's weird.
Burrow,
but
then you can start making a case for Jaden Daniels.
Well, but hold on. And again, if they lose, Justin Herbert's like, why is Drake Maye better than me?
You're 1-2, dude.
Isn't that better than 0-1?
If he plays well, Justin plays really well.
Here's the point I'm making. If they lose in round 1 and the odds makers have corrected, if he's not the league MVP and they lose in round 1, there are guys like, let's see how Trevor does. Justin Herbert does. Your guy Jalen Hurts does. Your guy Brock Purdy. Your guy Sam Darnold. A lot of that's now we're at 10 quarterbacks.
Now we're going too far.
No. What do you mean? Sam Darnold, 14 wins, 4,000 yards, and then he goes to the Super Bowl.
Nothing to shake a stick at.
He can go to the Super Bowl this year. They're the 1 seed. My point is, it won't. Don't you think it will pause where his rise up the quarterback hierarchy?
Yeah,
and I think that'll be totally fair.
I think that's fair, but I don't know if you're like, sliding him out of top 10 at that point.
Well, I'm just
someone's going to the Super Bowl outside of unless it's Stafford, who's already has his spot kind of.
That's kind of my point. Like some of those guys that he's in the neighborhood of. If they go on, if Trevor goes on a playoff run, if C.J. Stroud goes on a playoff run. If Justin Herbert beats him and wins the next round,
it would be.
But you're not putting him in top 5. CJ
no, I already
Trevor.
said the 5.
Okay.
I'm talking about the next.
But
the top 5 is up for. There's
Stafford's got to be 5th. He's in the top 5
or higher,
unless you don't want Burrow. I'm not taking Lamar, Josh.
But
Mahomes,
May
Stafford
won't be eligible for it. I don't think if they lose this game.
I think that would be fair.
Yeah,
I think the MVP would be a little bit. Feel very much like a regular season award, which it is.
Well, that's what it is.
I know, but I think
I wouldn't diminish it if he won it.
But the problem is this cupcake schedule wouldn't be great.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had an MVP go out in round 1.
Nearly home. Isn't home where we all want to be? Reba here for Realtor.com, the pros' #1 most trusted app. If you're hearing me, I'm going to assume you're awake. And if you aren't, because while you're snoozing, someone else might be finding your dream home. That's where Realtor.com comes in. With over 500,000 new real listings straight from the pros every month, that's a lot of chances to find the place you've been dreaming of. Whether you're searching for a 2-story mid-century with a pool or a little extra space with a spa-inspired bathroom, Realtor.com can help you find it today. So quit hitting that snooze button. Realtor.com isn't sleeping on finding your dream home, and neither should you. Download the Realtor.com app today, 'cause you're nearly home. Make it real with Realtor.com.
Pros #1 most trusted app based on August 2024 proprietary survey. Over 500,000 new listings every month based on average new for sale and rental listings. February 2024 through January 2025.
Podcast #1 in the world. YouTube almost under 20 million. Gianna feeling very confident about her job, let's just say.
Almost under 20 million, away from $1 billion. You left that part out.
The 20 million countdown.
Yeah.
I saw Giannis putting new posters in her office.
Oh, wow.
Yo, I'm here to stay.
Yeah.
I'm here to stay.
Measuring out for a cork board.
Yep.
Oh, welcome back to the show. When the sports calendar utilizes a bold font, we know it's an important weekend where legacies are forged or forgotten. It's time to determine who has the most to gain in a segment we call Most to gain.
Thank you so much, Kevin Wildes. We've been doing this for years now. For some reason, we landed on 8. It's going to be 8 people every time.
Yes.
And we're just going to call it the most to gain
Most
list.
to gain list.
So let's start at number 8. Josh Allen. He will, as the team advances, if they do, rise on the divisional round weekend. He'll have more.
Because at first I saw it and I was like, how's that? But I was thinking the whole playoffs.
Yeah, right. But for winning this, he almost didn't make it, as evidenced by being at number 8, because you expect Josh Allen to get out of this weekend, except for the fact that he's on the road against a really good team. So getting your first road playoff win, validating that maybe the Bills' run defense is not going to be the liability because the Jaguars will be able to take advantage of it that we thought it could be. All of those reasons, he's on there, just low on there, number 8. Number 7, this guy.
Wow, Coach.
Coach Mangini.
Coach, wow.
Wearing his Panthers-colored tie. Because
if the Panthers win?
Yeah.
He could be number 1.
I've scoured the sports media landscape. He's the only Panthers believer. This Panthers team had so few believers that this season in September, a longtime Panthers-centric podcast shut down shop.
No.
3 weeks into the year, they were like, we can't do it anymore. It's ruining our social lives and our Sundays. We can't cover the season week to week.
Fire back up.
Right, and now so Coach is the only one who's believed in the Panthers.
But he's probably not even picking.
It has propelled him to upset alert riches.
I like it.
If you're picking him over the Rams, Coach.
I have not gotten the suitcase full of cash from this year or last year.
Oh, well, we'll get that figured out. Number 6, C.J. Stroud. So among the quarterbacks in this year's playoffs, who are the only quarterbacks who have won a playoff game each of the last 2 years?
C.J. Stroud.
And Josh Allen. A good guess. So that's it. Like Mahomes' streak is over. The Lamar's streak is over. Those guys didn't make it. C.J. Stroud's one of 2 quarterbacks on active.
In the whole league?
Well, yeah, in the whole league, in both sides of the bracket. And so there is a very real possibility that after this week, if they win, he would be on a 3-year playoff winning streak. Allen could be out. Like all of a sudden,
playoff gamer.
Yeah, playoff gamer. Brew showed that misleading but accurate full screen about his playoff numbers. Number 5, Christian McCaffrey. No one, in my opinion, has carried a heavier load in the NFL this season at any position for any team. No one has had more put on their plate than Christian McCaffrey's been put on his. Also, he was a couple years ago the back. Saquon and Derrick Henry had their year, a couple years ago. This year, or I guess last year I should say, this year a little Derrick Henry love, Jonathan Taylor early, Bijan Robinson late, James Cook, Christian McCaffrey an opportunity to say, guys, when I'm playing and don't have double leg tendonitis that goes from one leg to the other, I'm the best running back in football, and I've been the best running back in football. He's number 5. Number 4, Aaron Rodgers. They win this weekend. Steelers fans, Mike Tomlin, Rodgers, start thinking, why can't we go to the Super Bowl? Absolutely. Like, why? We can't go beat Bo Nix? We can't beat the Patriots? We already did. I know there's a lot of turnovers, but they did. Everybody talks about how all the great quarterbacks missed the playoffs except for Josh Allen. Aaron Rodgers is like, I'm in the playoffs. I got 4 MVPs. I've got a Super Bowl. And it puts a real, no matter what he does after this year, it has a nice, real accomplishment in his post-Packers career. Number 3, Justin Herbert. Finally get the playoff monkey off his back. The only quarterbacks in league history to go 0-3 or worse in their first 6 years in the playoffs. Bruce guy Burt Jones, the great Randall Cunningham, who really didn't have any playoff greatness until later in his career, and Andy Dalton. Now, we have had certain people say he's Peyton Manning 2.0. Just check real quick. How did Peyton Manning do in year 6 playoff game? Can we show it real quick? Oh, wait, one of the greatest playoff games in the history of the league. So the year 6, Peyton Manning, who also, by the way, won league MVP and was first team All-Pro, his playoff game in the wild card round that year, perfect passer rating. The only perfect passer rating on 20-plus attempts in playoff history. Wow. Number 2, combo plotter, Caleb and Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson be like, told you I was going to beat Matt LaFleur 2 times a year. Didn't know I was going to get a third shot at it, but told you I was going to do it. Caleb, let's see how Bo Nix and Drake Maye's postseason goes. Caleb has an opportunity ascend to the top of that class, maybe.
Does he, though?
Well,
that's to be a lot.
It would have to be. He would have the opportunity. Right, but he plays great. They win. Patriots lose. The opportunity is there, but it certainly validates. And Danny's been saying this, and I think people agree, that bust is off the table for Caleb Williams. This would stamp that despite the completion.
Didn't Jaden Daniels go to the NFC Championship last year?
Yeah, what's he doing this year?
Okay, I'm just saying.
Number 1.
Set the bar where it should be. There.
The Prince and me.
You're not number 1.
Alongside the Prince. It's both of us. So the Prince, you beat Josh Allen and the Bills. You maybe host a round 2 playoff game, depending on what happens with Patriots Chargers. And for me, I'm the only guy who's always believed in it. Everybody knows it. You guys can poo-poo it, and you guys can hope it doesn't happen, and you guys can say, Nick, you don't deserve it after all the Chiefs run. That all might be true. What's also true is if Trevor Lawrence goes on a postseason run and people are like, gosh, no one on TV ever talks about him. There'd be one voice like, there's one guy who does kind of annoying, similar hair. Coach, that's the most game list.
You don't have similar hair.
Well, mine's a little curly. Go ahead.
I love the most game list. I really wish I was on the most game list. After our first Super Bowl in New England, Brad Seeley, the special teams coach, said, hey, with this money that you made, you need to change your life. And we bought a house in Cape Cod, and it's been a fantastic. So I don't think this is going to compare if the Carolina Panthers win. But, thank you for thinking of me.
If you wager enough, you got a little market, you get another house on Cape Cod.
I feel comfortable with that. And I know Wilds love this. I went literal on this. And Aaron Rodgers, he wins the game, picks up $600,000.
You always focus on the money.
Wait, there's more.
Rich.
There's more. Juwan Jennings, all he's got to do is play 35 snaps, $600,000.
Kind of nice.
Those 2 guys got a lot to gain.
I like that.
So Juwan Jennings, do they have to win?
Nope.
It's just if he plays 35 playoff snaps
in a playoff game.
They're gonna stick out. You can't. They're gonna
ruin the team.
All right, so Coach went purely financial.
I like it though, Coach.
Yeah. Look.
What?
I'll play along with the wig and the big hat and all that. I'll play along with that, right? But there's a limit.
What?
To how much you'll be able to gloat if Trevor wins. Right. There's a limit. We'll give you a little love. Okay.
A little love.
Yeah, a little.
It was a few years ago.
Nick, we all remember you dropped him like Jaquaski Tart in a playoff game. All right? I mean, you dropped Trevor.
I asked you to stop bringing up Jaquaski.
Nice.
You're a nice guy. I'm sorry, Jaquaski. But you dropped him like a bad habit. You said earlier this season they were winning despite him, which was true, but still. All right. Now we will give you some love.
We have to.
Some.
He needs somebody.
But it's not going to be like the Chiefs. It's not going to be like you and the Patriots.
It has to be.
It kind of more is like the Eagles if they win and you.
Oh, sure.
Be like,
my squad.
Kind of. I mean, really, are they really your squad?
I am not arguing that. Here's what I'm arguing.
You are. If you're number 1, you're arguing that. You have more to win than Aaron Rodgers. You're arguing that.
It's a combo. Here's what I'm arguing. That of everyone in the country who has jobs like this, if there was a draft, and it's like, hey, we're drafting the biggest Jags supporters on national sports, TV, radio, podcasts, who's the number 1 pick in that draft?
Well,
it's me.
A few years ago, it was you.
It's always been me.
Scenario ever happened? Everyone, gather around. We're drafting who?
All right, whatever.
Like I said, you should get a little credit.
Not me.
Instead of your photo, show the photos again. Instead of your photo being next to Trevor's like it is, I don't know, they're not going to show it apparently. Okay. It should just be Trevor, a picture of Trevor, and your initials, NW.
You know what? That's actually what I asked them. They said they wanted to do the side-by-side because the hair.
If that, right? If that. But Drake Maye's the guy. Drake Maye should be on there.
Yes,
that's why I think Drake Maye should be number 1.
Little sunshine.
You're not going to do one?
No, we got to get to most to lose. Little sunshine, a little bit of rain. It's time now for the most to lose list.
Number 5, Matt LaFleur. Weird smoke surrounding his job security. Wild says I credit this podcast too often, but it's a great podcast.
Inside the NFL.
NFL Daily.
NFL Daily, shoot.
It is. Greg Rosenthal.
It is.
They won't stop talking about that they're worried if the Packers lose, what it means for Matt LaFleur. Little palace intrigue about a Gutekunst-LaFleur power struggle. I don't get it. But it does. The fact that he didn't get the extension, the fact that Harbaugh is now available and not yet interviewing anywhere, it feels like, and I don't know that I would agree with that at all. I think he's done a good job.
Yeah.
But of all the coaches that are in the playoffs, if you were to, let me put it like this, if you were to tell me someone that's coaching right now is getting fired, and we did that draft, I think he's the number 1 pick of that. Ahead of McDermott, ahead of Tomlin. I think those guys.
I mean, they fired McCarthy, right? When they brought him in.
Yeah, and so
there is an argument. He obviously had Aaron Rodgers at his height, and they underachieved, I guess, right?
No, but Aaron was down and he got him back up.
Right, they were
back-to-back MVP season.
Right, and you think and they never got there. And then these last few years, they kind of haven't.
7 seed.
I don't think they should. I think he's a very good coach, but I guess you can argue for
number 4, that guy. How embarrassing this would be. So, Gianna, you'd have to help Wilds deactivate Twitter for a little bit. So many clips. We built a door. We traded out the Trumpeteers. You got in really your only actual arguments in the history of the show with Brew, all about the Patriots and Drake Maye and your just impossibility
if Drake
to comprehend.
Maye plays terribly,
KW.
It will be shocking, and I will have a lot to lose.
But you also have to give Wild so much credit for calling that so early.
He didn't know.
Building the door.
Week 4, before the Buffalo game.
He called it early and right.
I said we're on the doorstep of destiny.
That's correct. Okay. All of that is true, which is why a loss would be such a disaster. Number 3, Sirianni and Hurts.
That's something.
The thing about your rep being we're winners, got to win. Now, they won at the highest. They're the defending champs, defending Super Bowl MVP. It would be odd, though, if the 2 years, buttressing the Super Bowl championship were odd end-of-season swoons and first-round exits. Which is what, again, if they lose this weekend, it would be. And I understand that we all know if the Eagles lose, Kevin Patullo is going to be the fall guy. I get that. And fall guy makes it sound like he had no culpability. But those two gentlemen would have to have some answering to do this offseason about why did it go the way it went. Number 2, Michael Jordan.
Classic.
So
I got to hear this.
Well, once upon a time, there was a number 3 pick out of the University of North Carolina that at 23 years old in year 2 saw his team go 30-52 and got swept in round 1 of the playoffs.
Wow.
I think he only played
Now there's
18 games.
a 23-year-old out of the University of North Carolina that was the number 3 pick that in year 2 could go on a postseason run.
It would be a loss for him.
I'm just telling you, greatest North Carolina athlete title. Is it in jeopardy? Some people are saying number 1.
18 games that year?
Number 1, Josh Allen. It's not always fair. It's definitely right. He is supposed to be arguably the best quarterback in the league, inarguably the best quarterback on his side of the bracket. And every year they win this round, and every year the problem is you can't get past Mahomes. Well, Mahomes is rehabbing in Kansas City and not in these playoffs. You got to at least get out of wild card weekend and see what happens. That's the most to lose list.
Excellent. Excellent as always.
Nearly home. Isn't home where we all want to be? Reba here for Realtor.com, the pros' #1 most trusted app. Finding a home is like dating. You're not just looking for a place to live, you're searching for the one. That's where Realtor.com comes in. Like any good matchmaker, they know exactly where to look. With over 500,000 new real listings straight from the pros every month, you could find your perfect match today. Ranch style with a pool, barn dominium with an in-law suite? Realtor.com's got 'em. Modern craftsman with a big yard and a treehouse out back? Realtor.com will have you saying, yep, that's the one. No more swiping. It's time to start finding. Download the Realtor.com app today, cause you're nearly home. Make it real with Realtor.com.
Pros #1 most trusted app based on August 2024 proprietary survey. Over 500,000 new listings every month based on average new for sale and rental listings. February 2024 through January 2025.
49ers faced a great defense last week, put up 3 points. Now they're going across the country to face the champs. Here's Purdy on bouncing back.
Guys have done a good job of just understanding, it sucked what had happened and not capitalizing on a really good opportunity. But, we are in the playoffs and we don't have time to dwell on the negative things. Yes, let's learn from them, but we got to move on and flip the page pretty quickly because we're about to go and our season's on the line now. And so for us to go into a hostile environment, you got to be on top of your stuff.
Since the start of November, 49ers offense had been excellent before they ran into the Seahawks. The Eagles defense has just been terrific. Brew, are you expecting a bounce-back game from Brock Purdy?
I mean, I think he'll play fine, but I expect Philadelphia to win. I think they're the better team. I think their defense is great. And San Francisco's so banged up, particularly on the defensive side. But then even offensively, Ricky Pearsall, their best receiver, arguably him or Jennings, whatever, but he hasn't practiced all week. Trent Williams practiced a little bit yesterday. I assume he'll play since he practiced a little bit yesterday. But if he plays, it helps them. Maybe they have a better chance. Purdy hasn't had a bad playoff game. He hasn't been great in all of them, but in 6 playoff games, he hasn't been bad. He hasn't had a passer rating below 86. But this defense, I mean, look, they held Josh Allen to 12 points. They held Jared Goff to 9 points. They held J-Lo, Jordan Love, to 7 points, and they held Mahomes to 17. So I think I see Philly winning something like 28-20. So I think Purdy will play.
I mean, that would be a lot for both teams.
Well, I think Philly's going to put up some points against that defense.
That'd be nice.
So I think Purdy will play fine, but I don't see an upset win and him going crazy.
Yeah, when I was looking at this, I was trying to look at Purdy versus Vic Fangio's defense. There's no data there. And you hear Kyle Shanahan, he's talked about how he wanted to hire Vic Fangio at different points throughout his career. And then I looked at Shanahan as an offensive coordinator and head coach versus Fangio, and it's not great. So he's 1-3, only scored 10.3 points per game. Wow. The TD and interception ratio is not great. The passer rating is not great. And look, it's not always apples to apples, but it is, it is scheme against scheme, and it is familiarity, and it is success rate. And over a 4-game stretch, you'd like to see the numbers be better than that. So I'm leaning towards the opposite of them having a bounce-back game.
I don't worry about them missing Pearsall. I think that the 3 most important players on that offense are Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams, and George Kittle. And I think the biggest miss this past week, Brew, was Williams more than Pearsall.
Williams.
So the fact that he did practice in limited capacity already this week makes me think it's a playoff game, and it's Sunday instead of Saturday, which is just schedule luck or whatever. But I think that matters for this team. I do think he'll have a bounce back game in as much as. I don't think he's going to turn the ball over a bunch, and I don't think they're going to be held in single figures. And I think that could be enough. I think
so you don't see Philly doing much.
I don't trust Philadelphia. If I'm doing this in real time. Reverse power ranking, offenses I trust in these playoffs, right? So Carolina is probably my first pick. Denver is maybe my second pick, and then after that, it might be Philadelphia. Trying to the Chargers possibly because of their issues, but I think the Texans are on there as well. Like I said, I'm doing it in real time. But I don't think there is a switch that Philadelphia is going to be able to flip. So I don't think the Niners have to score 28 to win the game. Yeah, I think this is a very close, good game. And so I think that the Niners offense will do enough to keep them in it. Because I think the Niners have a prolific offense against an excellent defense. The Eagles have a run-of-the-mill offense against a mediocre at best defense. So I think those two things kind of match up. It's like fair fights, but no matter who has the ball. Bad offense against bad defense and great offense against great defense. To me, those are fair fights. And I will give Purdy his respect in that I do not worry about the stage being too big for him. I was worried about that early in his career, particularly when he was throwing passes off guys' face mask catch for touchdowns, but I don't worry about that.
Brock Purdy's record with Trent Williams, 33-10. Without, 1-7. So I bet he plays.
I think he'll play.
In the Avengers analogy, that he's the Incredible Hulk.
I did not know that. Coming up next,
big guy. Yeah.
Hottest segment in all of sports, Upset Alert, and we talk about Josh Allen.
And Nick's picks.
All 6 games for Nick's picks. And Coach on Upset Alert.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Live from New York, the show that is excited for Wild Card Weekend.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled.
I think it's the second best football weekend of the year. I think the best is divisional round weekend.
I like opening weekend, too. I like Wild Card Weekend a lot. I like first Sunday.
Would you say you like opening weekend? Yeah. Week 1 doesn't count, you said.
Oh, that's true. Second hour of First Things First. Today, do the Eagles have another Super Bowl run in them? We discuss. Meanwhile, can Aaron Rodgers solve this mighty Texans defense? But right now, we're headed to Jacksonville. Bills are road favorites, even though Sean McDermott has never won a road playoff game. Josh Allen's playoff ranks excellent. Most total yards per game. Best touchdown to interception ratio, 25-4. Passer rating of 102. It's 5th best all time. Nick, we'll start with you. What would a loss mean for Josh Allen here?
It would mean this season was a failure. From an individual, he's the defending MVP. From an individual perspective, it's the fewest yards he's thrown for in a season since his second year. It's the fewest touchdowns he's thrown for in a season since his second year. It's the first time they didn't win the division since his second year. If you then add to it, it's the first time they didn't win a playoff game since his second year. It's just undeniable. And it's why I am so stunned by so many of my colleagues and folks I really like, and truly, not being a smartass here, respect their football opinion, who throughout the year have made the case, maybe correctly, this is the best player in football. This is the guy. He doesn't have the pelts Mahomes has, but on a week-to-week basis, this would be the quarterback anybody would want. Make that case all year long, and then we get to the wild card weekend playing a team that up until a month ago nobody thought was even going to be in the playoffs, and they're like, man, you can't expect him to go win this game. Like, to where all of a sudden it's like, it's the opposite of most. It's just to gain, all reward, no risk. Yeah. And so he's the defending league MVP. Patrick Mahomes is out. And one of the reasons you are the 6th seed and not at home is because the few rough spots you had against Houston, against Atlanta, against Miami. So that's what it wouldn't mean to me much about him moving forward, but it would mean the 2025 season was a failure for Josh Allen and the Bills.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't win the Super Bowl or get to the Super Bowl or win it, it's a failure. Certainly if you don't get there, it's a failure. If he goes Superman mode and has 3 passing touchdowns, I'm just throwing it out, 2 rushing touchdowns, and they lose a shootout 42-38, 38-35, whatever it might be, the people will look at McDermott and the defense. and say he doesn't have receivers and all of that stuff. But anything in a loss other than Superman mode, I mean, he could play pretty well, good, and they lose, he's going to take the hits, to me. Because then these scapegoats, if you will, are removed. He's had scapegoats before. Even Mahomes. It's just, Mahomes is the greatest we've seen since Brady. So, okay, he's lost to him. Or McDermott, or the defense, or whatever it is. Those scapegoats are gone if he doesn't go Superman and they lose. And so I think there will be a real question going forward to, like, if he's just good and they lose 24-21, and he's good. He's not bad.
Yeah,
but he didn't reach out and grab the game, and it wasn't like the defense gave up a ton of points. Then I think there will become a real question, Coach. Not obviously he's not a loser, but can he really be the ultimate winner? Can he win the big game going forward? And I think he'll be in that. He's obviously played better in the playoffs than Lamar, but he'll be largely in that Lamar bucket of, we got to see it in the playoffs to really believe he's going to get there.
Yeah, to your point, if he leaves the field with the lead and then they lose the game at the end, you're probably going to argue that he did enough to win the game, and it does matter the context of how he plays in terms of how he's evaluated, because he could also go Superman mode and take too many chances, and this is a really opportunistic Jacksonville defense from a turnover standpoint. But it is a defense that's, I think, 25th against the pass. They're bottom part of the league in terms of sacks. So he should have time. He should be able to pass the ball effectively. He's just got to avoid the giant mistakes. And how he plays, I think, is a very important part of how we're going to evaluate whether or not, it's his fault.
Well, and listen, on the leaving the field with the lead, I agree with you, Coach. But I also think we just have to be honest about what has happened. I think that's a baseline of not and I'm not saying you're doing that at all, misrepresent his history. He has left the field like, I did everything I could do with a lead and lost a playoff game once. Right. The 13 seconds game. Mm-hmm. In 2020 in the AFC Championship game, they got boat raced the whole way. They weren't good enough. That's fine. That was a great Chiefs team. That was their first time. 2021 is the year that he did everything he could do. 13 seconds, the Chiefs win the coin toss. 2022, at home against Joe Burrow in round 2, he played very poorly. The Bengals beat him. 2023, it's the opposite of I left the field with the lead. He had the ball down 3 with a chance to keep Mahomes off the field. They couldn't get inside the red zone. They ended up missing the field goal. 2024, he had the ball down 3 with 3 minutes and 33 seconds left, and they got 17 yards. And so
No, I think that's fair too. If you can't, with the ball and a chance to win, right? I think that'd be a fair evaluation. That'd be a disappointment.
That'd be a disappointment, like to go come through. And I look at, maybe this is unfair because there used to be 2 byes and now there's not. So now you have more great players playing in round 1 than you used to. But I do look at the wild card weekend as a round where a great quarterback losing to unless it's for some reason 2 great quarterbacks playing each other, as a huge disappointment.
I would not, to me, like losing to Jacksonville in round 1 wouldn't be any more, like I wouldn't look at it, he lost in round 1 versus if they lost next week to a lesser team than Jacksonville. So you know what I mean? Like,
look, I'd be sick. Lost to Jacksonville in round 1?
No, really? Right. But I'm saying, you in evaluating
Josh Allen and
Mahomes is out and Burrow's out.
Mahomes is out and Burrow's out.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, like I think Nick's saying, when you will look back at his career, you'll say he had a round 1 loss.
No,
as the best.
I'm not so much saying like that as much as like I'll use Patrick as an example. 2023, Mahomes with a Chiefs team people did not think was that good against, and again, we have to remember what we thought of the 2023 Dolphins in real time. You know what I mean? We did not think Kansas City had, the better team going into that matchup. And Tua was probably in that moment thought of similarly to how Trevor is right now. Like Tua, it was coming off best year of his career. It would have been now I understand that game was at Arrowhead, a huge disappointment if the Chiefs had lost that game because of that discrepancy. And I'm not saying it's a one-on-one battle.
No, but I get it's on the road, but you also have a rookie head coach versus a head coach that has a lot of experience, a coaching staff that has a lot of experience, that have played in these. I mean, that should count for something too.
And then can I just show Coach the headshot graphic real quick? If we, because I am interested in what this. So Josh Allen has beaten in the playoffs teams whose quarterbacks were Mac Jones, rookie Bo Nix, Mason Rudolph, Skylar Thompson, old but somehow pre-retirement Phillip Rivers, and Lamar twice. And then the losses have come to Deshaun when Deshaun was awesome, Burrow and Mahomes 4 times. I think it would be really good I think we can agree that of all the quarterbacks on the left-hand column other than Lamar, no matter what you think of Trevor, he's a grade or 2 or 3 above those guys. Yeah. Rookie Bo Nix is the best of them probably, right? I think it would be a nice, the flip side is it would be a nice little feather in his cap, go on the road and beat a veteran, highly paid quarterback for a team as opposed to what he's done in this round before, which is be a huge favorite and annihilate.
You're putting Trevor on the right-hand side?
No, I'm saying he would be I was looking at
he'd be
the left-hand side of the quarterbacks he beat. What I'm saying is he's a class better than all those guys but Lamar.
Okay, but where's Trevor? Is he on the left or the right?
We probably haven't.
Well, we're going to find out.
What?
You wouldn't put Trevor in with
You're putting him with Mahomes.
Well, that's it's not. I didn't hear the quarterbacks. It's losses and wins.
No,
I'm just saying it's just wins and losses.
We'd have a new graphic. Hit the lights, Dust, and lights are going. Time now for the hottest segment in all of sports. A segment so hot, my grandmother gave me a diamond ring to give to my wife and said, there's only a few restaurants she should not wear this in. It's upset alert. What?
I didn't get it. The diamond ring that was stolen?
Whoa!
From a restaurant?
No one's saying anything.
Does it have like a little, is it like a fake diamond, like a drug compartment in it?
Whoa. I don't know. My grandmother gave me a ring.
Buddy, stick to the grandmother had a drinking problem stuff. That hits.
Well, first of all, my grandmother's dead, so why don't you mind your business? That's hilarious, Jonna. Thanks, Coach.
This has gotten dark.
That's
got dark.
Fantastic. Standings.
Got dark quick.
Look at that.
I'm climbing.
Champion, but Brew, it's over. It's over.
No, it's over.
It's over. It's a fresh start to the playoffs. Coach is waving, but he's not on camera. There he is. Championship.
Hey, where's the parade?
An easy W. Another suitcase full of money coming
that
away,
was impressive. Coach.
Absolutely.
That was
Back-to-back upset alert champion.
But now
impressive.
Now it's.
Do we got a cup? Like
nope.
It's all coming.
Little
it's all coming. Don't you worry about it.
It's all evened out now.
Yeah.
Starting fresh.
Fresh start.
Coach, kick us off.
So I was sitting there last night watching the college football playoffs, and I thought, this year we're not going to have Michigan, we're not going to have Georgia, we're not going to have Ohio State, okay, we're not going to have Alabama, so there's that. And now talk about the playoffs. There's no Mahomes, there's no Lamar, there's no Burrow, there's no Chiefs, okay, that's different. Talk about the resurgence of Rodgers, Trevor, Caleb, the Patriots, okay, that's different. This whole year has been
a weird year.
A completely weird year.
Very.
So I can't look at anything statistically and say, yeah, this makes sense. I can't look at anything from a matchup standpoint like, yeah, this is probably going to happen. But I still think that there's a nice opportunity here for Carolina.
Love it.
To
He's
upset
going back to the well.
Wow.
The Rams. And here's
upset them once, upset them Bryce.
Excellent.
Here's my thought process on this is, as much as they're talking about, hey, that last time that was a wake-up call for us, I get that. But it's human nature. They're 10-point favorites. All of their friends and family are saying, oh, this is great. You drew Carolina. And the Panthers, they know now they can win. They've done it. They've done it in their place. It's happened before. So they realize that they can beat this opponent. And the Rams, as much as they're they're committed to not letting the letdown happen again. There is a human nature component to this, to where Carolina could do it again.
I don't like it.
Wow.
Can I add something to this?
Sure.
The Rams defense, the ballyhooed Rams defense, can get got.
Yeah.
So the idea that Bryce can't light up this, even without the turnover.
Well, he did last time. He had the 330-plus play, or 30-yard-plus touchdown passes.
Coach, that would be huge.
Yeah.
That would be.
But this whole
I like it a lot.
This whole season doesn't
It's a strange
make sense.
season.
Yep. And give Drake the MVP if that happens.
Drake would get the MVP.
Drew,
Well,
just be honest.
I don't feel like there are going to be any upsets.
None.
I'm sticking
That
with
what
my
you did
Packers.
last year?
2 years.
2 years
I don't think
ago
I
was
did.
epic.
Well, during the
So,
season, I did that a lot.
No
I don't know if I did it in the.
Well,
Did
you
I
had
do it in the
one
playoffs?
playoff round
did.
a couple years ago.
How did it work out for me?
I think there were nothing but upsets. I think every game.
Not great.
I got Green Bay over Chicago. I'm sticking with the Packers. I'm riding with them. I'm not playing around on them like some people behind their backs, flirting with other people, teams and stuff. I got the Rams. I'm sorry, Coach.
If it's 10 points.
I got Philly. I got Houston. So now, but Coach has got me fired up now. I know. I'm torn.
Trying to give you something.
Coach has me hyped up. Now you said no upsets is worth 10 points. That's tempting. But Coach has me ready to get out. He's got me hyped. I get why your pregame speeches, Coach. I'm ready. So Wild, I'm gonna go with.
Come on.
Because I'm torn already between the Bills and Jags and the Patriots and Chargers. So I think because I like to go big game hunting, I'm going to take the Chargers over your Patriots.
Wow.
He doesn't believe it.
I'm torn. I mean,
You're not really torn.
Coach got me ready to run through a wall.
How does it happen?
Coach has me ready to run through a wall. I'm going with the Chargers.
How's it happen?
Justin Herbert has a chip on his shoulder. He has to show up. It's like, this is it. This is how you have to show people you can win in the playoffs. You got a very good coach.
Little deer in the headlights from Drake Maye maybe early on, possibly. Possibly.
Jim Harbaugh is good taking a team from the West Coast to the East Coast.
Yes.
Drew knew that.
Coaching 9 playoff games.
I was with him for 2 years, and we usually beat up on people when we went West Coast.
I respect it. It seems like you put a lot of research and thought into it. Just randomly.
It was tough. I didn't want to go no upset.
Time now for the Puxatawny Phil of Football to make his upset alert pick. This one is excellent. Why do they call you Puxatawny Phil of Football? Covered in fur, living a log. Just a coincidence.
There's only one this can be. It's got to be it. Let me hear it.
I don't even know what you want it to be.
Well, let's see. I don't want to be a bad teammate.
Steelers over Texans straight up. Is that what you wanted to hear? Because that's what I believe.
Go ahead. Wow.
Steelers over Texans straight up. Oh, what about the Texans pass rush? They're gonna get to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has been getting rid of the ball all year, super fast. What do you want me to do? I'm ready to get rid of the ball, throw a little 2-yard pass, and have a bunch of yak. That is the recipe for beating the Texans. I know you all watched Josh Allen be annihilated by this Texans defense. That's because Josh Allen, who has a great offensive line, likes to sit back there, look around. Of course I could run out. He had to change his whole game. Aaron Rodgers like, I don't want to get hit by any team, not just the Texans. I came in throwing this ball fast and getting yak. I'm going to leave this, this playoff game throwing the ball fast, getting yak. Also, not turning the ball over. Old Aaron Rodgers knows it's ball security time. Pass attempts without an interception. 232, Josh Allen 130. Oh, look at the MVP, 79. The one that he did throw was just kind of an arm punt, remember?
Yeah.
So, do I think Aaron Rodgers is crazy accurate? A little bit. Do I think he's throwing little 4-yard dump-offs and getting yak? Yes. And finally, how many points do we think C.J. Stroud is going to put up?
17.
When allowing under 25 points, Steelers this season are 9-1. 20 takeaways, only 3 giveaways, kind of piggybacks on the last stat. Steelers straight up over the Texans. Feels like you're disappointed.
I underestimated how much you just have an allergy to giving any respect to the Jags. Because you famously don't believe in the Bills.
No, I do not.
You don't think the Bills are a great team. You don't think the Bills are a very good team.
No, I think
you may or may not think the Bills are a good team.
Pretty good.
And you think they're fatally flawed.
Yes, they can't.
And they're on the road against a 13-win team, and they're the favorites. But because you have so little respect for Duval County,
not true.
You won't pick them. So I'm just disappointed.
Not true. Bills have only won 4 road playoff games ever.
Well, they've won 0 in 32 years. Yeah, and you still.
It's good that you don't have to spend any time on your bar.
Yeah, I know. He does this weird thing.
Can I tell you something? It is
You
not
live
weird.
to be Texan in this. It's like the Costco of bars.
That's exactly right. It's very successful. You're like some punny ice cream store. I'm like, what are they selling there? Like,
KW, what time is it?
Time now for Nick's Picks, a
My
bonus
God.
edition.
Champion of the season, Danny Parkins, choked down the stretch. I, on the other hand, 3-0 to beat Parkins. Seahawks, never a doubt. Told you guys, the Chiefs, if I had an MVP ballot, I'm putting Mahomes 5th. I don't care what you guys say. I saw this team score 15 combined points against the Titans and Raiders once Mahomes went out. Steelers, never a doubt either. That's how you win a championship. Doing all 6, my lifelong quest of a perfect playoff run. It's never happened. We did go 10-3 one year. 13-0 on deck. It starts with one big favorite. Sorry, Coach. Rams minus 10.5. They're not screwing around. Matthew Stafford is unbelievable in the postseason alongside McVay. Because they have lost to this team, if there was any worry about them not taking them seriously, they will. The Panthers are going to be playing from behind, and unlike last time when they played, Stafford's not going to throw a pick 6 that flips the game. Rams, 31. Panthers, 10. Take the 10.5. And now, the dogs are barking, America. Chicago getting a 1.5. Chicago's at home. Chicago's better. Chicago's quarterback is healthier. Chicago's coach is not on the hot seat. Chicago has the better running game. I'm getting a 1.5. These games, would I be shocked, actually, if it's a 1-point final margin? Not at all. Could there be a crazy 2-point conversion at the end? Maybe. I'm getting a 1.5 with the healthier team, the better coach. Well, the more secure coach, I should say, and I believe the quarterback who's playing better. I'll take the Bears at home plus a 1.5. The Bears win 28-24. Next. Jags getting a 1.5. Doesn't mean they're going to win. That 1.5 is valuable now, America. Could it be a 28-27? Bills win? Maybe 31-30? Who knows? What I do know is this. I am getting the home team in the playoffs getting points when the quarterback is playing at the highest level of any quarterback entering these playoffs. The last 6 weeks, 19 touchdowns, 1 turnover. The winner of this game, I feel, is going to go to the Super Bowl. I think this game is an absolute coin flip, so I will take the points. Jags plus a 1.5. I'm not giving a final score on it. Next. The Eagles don't beat good teams by margin. The only blowouts they have had all year were against the Raiders, the Giants, and the Commanders. Since week 3, they haven't scored more than 20 points against a playoff team. So I'm getting nearly a full touchdown.
I like this one.
I will take the Niners plus 5.5. I don't know how, but I do know that this game is going to be a 3 or a 4-point game in the fourth quarter with the Eagles trying to just get to the finish line and the Niners seeing if they can execute a late comeback. I wouldn't be shocked if the Niners win. I would be shocked if the Eagles blow them out. I'll take the Eagles plus 5.5.
I like that one a lot.
Chargers plus 3.5. I think the Patriots are going to win. I think they're going to win by 3 points. 3.5 points is a bit too rich for my blood, America. I'll take the Chargers plus 3.5. Reasons Coach said, the more experienced coach, the more experienced quarterback, I think the better defense. Drake Maye, I think, will be enough for the Patriots to overcome all that, but not in blowout fashion. This feels to me like 24-21 Patriots. I'll take Chargers plus 3.5. And last but not least, it's Monday Night Football. It's in Pittsburgh, so I'll take the Steelers, and I'm getting 3 points. Give me a break. Analysis over. So, 6 picks. Rams laying 10.5, and then 5 underdogs. Bears plus 1.5. Jags plus 1.5. Niners plus 5.5. Chargers plus 3.5. Steelers plus 3. That's a 6-0 weekend.
I am claiming that the lock is going to be the 49ers.
You are incorrect. The lock is
Steelers.
Rams.
You guys are all wrong. The lock is the Chargers plus 3.5.
Wow.
That's the lock. Maybe. That's the lock.
Okay. Coming up next, would you
say maybe it's my lock. There's no maybe. I just told you what it was.
Put a secondary little lock that says KW on it.
Why do growing businesses love working in Slack? Let's ask Christy at RE Bikes.
Running things in Slack saves me so much time.
AI summaries save 97 minutes per week. What say you, Rox from Gosney?
Slack helps us build community, it helps us build connection.
Your partners, vendors and customers all in one place. Take us on home, Ashley from Caraway.
If we didn't have Slack tomorrow, I would explode.
Well, let's not let that happen. Visit slack.com/podcast to get 50% off Slack Business Plus.
Head up to scenic New England. Welcome back to First Things First. Chargers at Patriots. This one is going to be on Sunday night. I'm going to ask you a straight up question here. Who wants to go first? I'll change my tone of voice. Who would you rather have here? Herbert, who has a broken hand and missing,
I think his hand's
a lot of his
healed.
Offensive line. Healed totally?
Well,
I mean for the most part,
He says it feels better, but I believe it's
still
broken.
but
okay.
It's not
Or Drake
huge factor.
Maye, who might win the MVP.
In this game, in this matchup, I'd rather have Herbert. And it is not just so the reasoning is multifaceted. One is Justin Herbert has been bad in his 2 playoff games. He was really good the first half of the first one, then did nothing the second half, and then downright awful in the second one. I do not think he's going to go his whole career. Never, you know what? I'm Andy Dalton it. Just never have a good playoff game. I don't think that is going to happen, even though I don't yet trust him. It's happened before.
First game, he was great in the first half. He just didn't do anything in the second half. It wasn't like he was throwing picks.
No, he wasn't. He didn't turn the ball over.
It was more the defense.
But I do believe that that there is a decent chance that the worst playoff game Drake Maye has in the next 5 years is this one. It's his first one. I think the Chargers' defense is excellent, and I think that is a tough spot for any player. I also think, now that I know we're allowed to show stupid graphs from Twitter involving EPA, that this graphic would concern me about how good is the Patriots' pass defense. So what this graphic is the opponent EPA per dropback, excluding the game when they played that team. So essentially all the quarterback, you understand what it says or no, KW?
No, okay. I like it.
I'm lost.
All right, so let me explain.
I see that word, the worst.
I fell asleep 45 minutes ago.
But I'm interested. So all the quarterbacks that you played.
Yes.
Their season-long performance by EPA, if you remove their game against you guys.
Take them.
So what that means is, like, the Eagles played awesome quarterbacks all year. The Vikings played awesome quarterbacks. The Patriots are the only team who it's not only the worst, the quarterbacks they played collectively this season have a negative EPA. You love EPA.
Yeah, they were.
It's because you played Quinn Ewers, Brady Cook, Jackson Dart, Flacco, Fields, Gabriel, Penix, Ward, Rattler. So I just think that Herbert might be able to take advantage of your defense. Tough spot for Drake Maye's first playoff game. So that's my answer there.
That's not a horrible answer.
No, and
you've
for my
got the
upset
Chargers
alert,
here,
hopefully he's right.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say Drake Maye. Just because
What's up, KW?
We've never seen him play a bad game.
That's exactly right. Have you seen
At least this year.
Have you seen Herbert play a bad game?
Yes, in this moment, in the playoffs.
It's a great point.
But also, and look, a bad game is certainly on the table. There's no question about that. However, we have seen coach several young quarterbacks. I said it yesterday. Jaden Daniels, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, CJ Stroud. Like in their first playoff game, some of them were outstanding. And so I agree the Chargers have a good defense. I think they might be able to, get to Maye and cause some trouble. But I have seen Herbert. I don't know how in the world he threw 4 interceptions last year in that playoff game. And so without that, his offensive line, I'm going to say of the two, just the quarterbacks, I would take Drake.
So I picked Herbert to be my MVP after Burrow went down. And so obviously I liked him, and I really like Jim Harbaugh a lot, and I like Greg Roman a lot, their offensive coordinator. I work with both of those guys. But I do think there is an element of scar tissue there when you've had bad playoff experiences. So you may have to get over that to feel comfortable, moving forward, where the advantage that Drake Maye has is he doesn't know what he doesn't know. And he's got a really good captain of his ship in terms of Josh McDaniels to be able to protect him early, whether it's the screens, whether it's a hard sell play action, whether it's a max protection, allowing him to get comfortable and making sure that he can go, but he's not being reckless. And that almost youthful ignorance of not being there could it be an advantage in this first situation?
I wrote down, I didn't know you had a relationship with Greg Roman. I should have checked it.
Yeah.
But I think Josh McDaniels is better than Greg Roman. And I don't want you to pit two people that you've worked with.
Well, they're also very different. Greg Roman's kind of known for what he can do for a team's run game.
And Chargers
Josh
still run the
McDaniels
ball.
more so than the pass game.
And Roman is good, but Josh, I mean,
I assume
they're both excellent.
Yeah,
but if you had to pick,
Josh is,
if you had,
no,
to
but
pick
you can
one.
have that opinion. Like
I think it's almost pretty
I think
clear
most people,
cut.
I think
and
most
that's
people
no
look
shade
at
against
McDaniels
Roman.
as.
Here's the interesting thing about Josh. So Josh was actually my assistant in the secondary when he started. And everybody in our family tree always starts on the other side of the ball. So he started on defense, and he worked on defense for a couple years and then moved to offense. And where I think that's a distinction for a coordinator is you truly understand how defenses are trying to attack you. And that's not to say that an offensive coordinator couldn't understand it, but it's a different level of understanding and learning when you've been there, taught it, game planned, and that's why I think Josh is unique from that perspective.
Excellent. I obviously think.
But you can keep going.
No, I obviously think Drake Maye. I mean, I know we've been joking around, but Herbert is a prime candidate to melt down. And I do like your idea of like, well, he's not going to melt down every game. Like, yeah, I agree with you. But do we have Herbert in the playoffs his last two games just to dig into those numbers?
Yeah.
It's the completion percentage for that first game against Trevor was at 58%. He did have 273 yards. But pass rating was 84 in his first game, and then 41
and the
in the
completion
really
percentage
bad game
was like 42% against the Texans.
Yeah, 44.
He's 14 of 32.
So, look, I do believe in, like, hey, you can't have several bad games. I don't think he's an all-time playoff choker. I think that would be very strange. But
listen, Danny's been doing the Peyton comp all year. Peyton's first three playoff games were all awful.
Yeah,
and then his
who were they?
Okay. Well, they weren't all against
No, we just sent them home.
That's
the last one.
His fourth playoff game, which was his year 6 playoff game, he was perfect.
So
but
year
the one
3,
against the
Peyton
Jets,
Manning,
it was awful.
41-0.
Yeah, no, it was
completed 45%.
This is not the graphic Wilds wanted. That's my graphic.
That's a good one.
That's his fourth playoff game. The third playoff game, the game before that, he was awful. So guys who end up being really good, Matt Stafford lost his first 3 playoff games. Matt Ryan lost his first 3 playoff games. Peyton Manning, who we mentioned, lost his first 3 playoff games, played poorly in all of them. So that would be that's a preview of if Herbert's bad and they lose, Danny's A block on Monday. Like, look at these guys who ended up being great, who were awful through.
We're still on Stafford.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on to Bills-Jags Sunday afternoon. Prince trying to add a jewel to his crown with a win over the former MVP. Trevor's last 6 games, he's just been excellent. Yeah. The team is scoring 34 points a game, almost at 300 total yards, some big passes, pass rating of 113, and again, 19 touchdowns and only 1 turnover. What would a win over Josh Allen mean for the Prince?
That he's arrived. That it was an odd path, and it took longer than a lot of us expected or hoped. But what we poke fun of the fact that I care about that he was 7th in MVP voting in his second year. But the reason I bring that up is at the end of year 2, he was right on schedule. It was like year one, there was a lot of quarterbacks have had bad rookie years. Yeah. A lot of blame went on Urban Meyer. Year two, he played his best ball at the end of the year, won a playoff game, and again, had the horrific first half, but then was brilliant late. And it felt right on schedule. And he took that momentum into year three, and then midway through that year, he got hurt and was bad. And then year four, it was awful. And now this year, winning this game, finishing the season the way he did, beating Josh Allen, it's like, okay, he is, people won't be like, that's a bad contract. People will, and I think they will look at him as an opportunity to, over the course of this postseason, enter the elite quarterback club. Like Herbert has that opportunity as well. Drake Maye has that, maybe is already there in some eyes, but certainly has that opportunity. There's guys with that opportunity, and so Trevor, it would stamp him as nobody's going to be like, oh, do the Jags need to figure out what they're going to do about Trevor Lawrence if they win this game?
Yeah, so year two, he had a new head coach. And he got hot at the end of the season.
And they won.
Really unbelievable.
And
they won. They won the playoff game.
4 picks in the first.
They won. And won 31-30 playoff game.
Take a couple years off. We get a new head coach. We get hot at the end of the season. So that to me is, I don't know which guy we're getting. Are we getting the streaky Trevor Lawrence? Is this going to be his pattern where he gets hot and then let's see how he does in the playoffs? And then we're going to have to wait 2 more years and maybe he'll get hot again when he has a new head coach, or whether he truly has arrived. And I think it depends on how he wins this game. Just like we talked about with Josh Allen. If he wins a game like similar to the Denver game. I mean, Denver, he was outstanding. What is he? 23 of 36, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 115 quarterback rating in Denver against a really, one of the top defense in the league. To me, if it's that type of performance, that signals he's arrived. Where if it's Josh Allen tries to be Superman, throws a pick that leads to a touchdown, has a fumble that leads to, takes points off the board, and it's a shaky game. I don't know if it's the same level of he's arrived.
Yeah, I agree more with Coach. Like they won a lot of games, beat a lot of good teams with him playing okay or mediocre or whatever, and I guess that possibly could happen in this game. But even if he's great, I would not fully be ready to say he's arrived. It would be more validation of what he's done these last 6 games. Now it would be 7 games. But I wouldn't be ready to fully stamp him. I mean, if he continued throughout the playoffs and did it, that's one thing. But he's been so up and down his whole career. There have been so many stretches. Yes, some good stretches, some equally long or longer bad stretches that I would be like, okay, he might have arrived. He might be there. I just wouldn't be really ready to give him my full backing yet as, he's a great quarterback.
And what I wonder is is he going to be on an accelerated Stafford trajectory? The huge arm, highly touted, number 1 pick who showed you his talent early. Now, Stafford didn't have as down of a year as Trevor had last year and just needed to get with the right coach partnership to unlock him fully. I understand Stafford had to go to LA.
He's got to be more accurate. Like, he's still around 60%.
That's going to happen for more than every 2 years.
Well, again, it's his first year with Liam Cohen. I believe coaching matters, Coach.
Adobe Acrobat Studio, so brand new. Show me all the things PDFs can do. Do your work with ease and speed. PDF Spaces is all you need. Do hours of research in an instant with key insights from an AI assistant. Pick a template with a click. Now your prezzo looks super slick. Close that deal? Yeah, you won. Do that, doing that, did that, done. Now you can do that with Acrobat. Now you can do that with the all-new Acrobat. It's time to do your best work with the all-new Adobe Acrobat Studio.
Wild card weekend, 2 huge games on Fox tomorrow. Stafford and the Rams. Might get upset by Bryce and the Panthers. Then on Sunday, the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles take on the 49ers. Wild card weekend powered by Verizon, only on Fox. We're going to stick with Eagles 49ers right now. Here's Saquon Barkley. Take a listen.
You become locked in even more when you know what it feels like to hold a Lombardi Trophy. You know what it feels like to have that parade, and you fight and crawl and do anything you can to have that again. So it's fun to have the moment in the playoffs, but it's anything, you'll do anything to win it all again. So I think that makes you a little more focused.
Okay, what would a loss mean for the Eagles?
It would be a terrible loss to me. And I do give San Francisco like a puncher's chance, but with the way their defense has, I get it last week, Seattle only scored 13 points, but that defense has looked very vulnerable, missing, as you said yesterday, Coach, all the linebackers that were on the roster at the beginning of the season aren't playing. If they lost this game, I think, one, it would validate all the questions people have had about the offense. Because I, for one, have been like, I get it, the offense has its issues, but they scored 33 against the Rams. They obviously put up big numbers last year against the Chiefs when we weren't sure about the offense. And Jalen Hurts has been able to, when he's needed to, has been able to deliver. So it would validate all the questions about the offense. And then next year, I don't think Sirianni would get fired, I don't think. But next year, he would definitely be on the hot seat, I believe. And you would definitely have a new offensive coordinator. No question about that. So I think that those would be the ramifications if they lose.
Yeah, to Saquon's point, this is the best time of year to coach and to be around the team because everybody's so dialed in. Every meeting, every practice, there's just the level of attention to detail and focus by the group. It's awesome. It's a great experience to have. And I do think if they lost as the defending champions and with the fact that they're healthy and all the positives they have, and I know the season has had ups and downs, but a lot of those have been self-inflicted by creating conflict, that people are going to lose their jobs. And I don't know if it's just the offensive coordinator. I don't necessarily think it's a head coach. But are they going to continue on with A.J. Brown? Are they going to be done with that? The one thing we know about the Eagles is they don't stand still. And they'll go through and they'll look and they'll digest as to what they need to fix. And it could be going to get a big-name player like when they got Saquon. It could be getting rid of big-name players. It could be moving on from coaches. But this organization doesn't stand still, which is why they're consistently in the mix for championships.
It would also mean that they have to figure out for next season how to have a real NFL offense.
Yeah.
That this is not, but that they have not had a championship caliber drop back passing offense certainly in the last 2 years.
But that isn't that, I mean, their quarterback's a different type of quarterback.
Right, but the point I'm making is last year they had, the self-inflicted crisis near the end of the year because of A.J. Brown, because the passing game wasn't working. And Saquon was unbelievable. Jalen was great in those final two playoff games. They won the championship. And so it was like, okay, that was all a good problem, essentially. It led us to where we are. This year it's been an issue all year long. The offense, the running and passing offense. And it is the only way to paper over it was, as you have talked about throughout the year, yeah, but they've beaten all these good teams. Even if it was 10-7 or 13-12, they've beaten these good teams, and we trust them come the postseason. If they lose, it's very rare for the defending Super Bowl champion to lose their first playoff game. The last one to do it was Brady's Pats in 19 when it felt like that was over before 18 was like last dance, and then they just kind of hung on for the end. And I think that they would have to figure out why that you have an offensive-minded head coach, a quarterback that we all know is at the very least good and clutch. You know, they start there. He's one of the top 15 quarterbacks in football without question, and when you incorporate what his resume is, he's clearly one of the top 10. Why does our offense operate not that dissimilar to the Broncos with Bo Nix? Like, that's something that is Sirianni and Hurts' job in the offseason to figure out.
I mean, it sounds weird, but one's the Super Bowl champion and the other one's the 1 seed.
I understand.
When did you think their pass game has worked like you're talking about with Hurts?
The argument would be maybe the year they lost the Super Bowl, or maybe the year after that when they. But
have there been 4 offensive coordinators now?
Well, yeah, I mean, the offensive coordinators. When they had Shane Steichen would have been the peak of it. But
I'm just saying, there's been multiple voices. So the one thing that's been the same has been the quarterback.
And the head coach.
That's what, I think, Nick.
And the head coach.
Hurts, and you guys know I think he's very good. I think he's a winner. I don't think you're going to have him dropping back, throwing for 4,500 yards a season. Like, I don't think that's the type of quarterback.
You know what the magic number is. Keep it under 30.
What is the under 30 passes?
30 passes.
Oh, it's such a clutch off-season pickup, Dave.
I was worried we'd bring back the same team.
I meant those blackout motorized shades.
Blinds.com made it crazy affordable to replace our old blinds.
Hard to install?
No, it's easy. I installed these and then got some for my mom. She talked to a design consultant for free and scheduled a professional measure and install.
Hall of Fame son.
They're the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings in the world.
Blinds.com is the GOAT.
Visit Blinds.com now for up to 45% off with minimum purchase plus a free professional measure. Rules and restrictions apply.
Live from New York, it's First Things First Overtime. Remember, Danny's the star of the show here. Today, can Herbert afford another poor playoff performance?
That was one of the passes where we just showed was one of the ones that Danny tried to claim went off someone's hands.
It grazed his fingernail.
Oh, my God.
Meanwhile, why the 49ers are looking to end the Eagles' back-to-back run, or can they end the Eagles' back-to-back run? And finally, we try to get Parkins Picks back on track after an absolute choke job.
That's cruel.
All time.
Lost you.
All
It wasn't great.
It's pretty bad.
It wasn't
pretty bad.
great.
6 straight losses to finish the year.
I'm not here to talk about the past.
Well, it just wasn't
New
good
season.
that Nick stole the championship. Are you still going to wear?
I trailed every week of the season until
Weeks 1 through
the
17.
only week that mattered.
Great job.
That's
Chris Broussard, Nick Wright, Danny Parkins, Kevin Wilds. First things first.
Why are you
Overtime.
wearing the robe? I didn't even.
Why are you wearing
Why am I wearing a robe?
sunglasses?
I just want people to know when they're watching Bears-Packers Saturday night and what to look for in the first row behind the Bears
You're
bench.
going to be wearing this at the game?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
First row behind the Bears bench. This is the look.
This guy looking like an idiot.
I like it. First of all, you do not look like an idiot.
I know I don't look like an idiot.
Really good. You know,
I look great.
When they're down 10 with 5 minutes left, they're going to look like
That's where we got it right where we want us. Have you watched the Bears this year?
Packers favored in Chicago, which is strange, Danny.
Yeah.
Saturday night, both games have come down to thrilling endings, maybe a little too thrilling. Here's Ben Johnson.
We've kept the game close both times we played them and had a chance at the end of the game to come out on top. I'd like to see us play better early in the game, particularly on offense. It felt like last couple times we played, we haven't gotten off to as fast of a start as you'd like.
Okay. Correct, Ben?
That was accurate.
Danny, do you feel like it's disrespectful to have your Bears as home underdogs?
Yeah, a little. I do. Smidge disrespectful.
Okay.
Just smidge.
It's not that even bad.
It's not that bad. Because listen, there are those. They've played 2 games. They've both come down to the end. Second game took a miracle for the Bears to win it. I understand all of that. The Bears are the healthier team and getting healthier. Rome Odunze back, Kyler Gordon back.
Good.
And I know you have the doorstep of destiny. Yes. And I know you guys mocked me for magic when I said that this was a team of magic. But I'm just telling you guys, the Bears are not losing this game. They're just not.
Go ahead.
I don't even need much more analysis than that. But honestly,
we'll take some. Though.
Yeah, you'll take some. This is the biggest sporting event in Chicago since Game 5 of the 2016 World Series for the Cubs. It's the most expensive wild card ticket in NFL history. It's the 213th time these rivals have ever played. 2 teams have never played each other more than the Bears and Packers. Only the 3rd time it happened in the playoffs. Once was the NFC Championship game in 2010. Once was in 1941, George Halas against Curly Lambeau. This Bears team in this spot will not lose.
So you're saying the environment,
yes,
the home field advantage is going to be the determining factor?
Yeah, the teams are close. And yes, we talk about vibes, and the Packers are trending down, and the Bears are trending up, and all of those things. You're not going into Soldier Field and winning this game. You're not. I got more football for you if you want it.
Give me more football, because all that nonsense about 1941
you don't
and
believe
the
in any of that
Chicago
stuff?
Cubs. Not that the Cubs are going to have any impact on this game.
You don't believe in home field advantage?
Yes, which is why, to answer the question, it is utterly disrespectful. Like you said, you guys are healthier. You got the hot young coach. You have the number 1 draft pick. You have the great run game. Like, the Packers are missing their best player. They're banged up. How many games did the Packers win?
9.
How many games did the Bears win?
More than that.
11.
And they are favored? Like, the Packers are limping into their coach is on the freaking hot seat, and they are favored. This is disrespectful, Danny Parkins. You guys better deliver, because it's disrespectful. It's a slap in the face that they're favored.
Yeah, so I understand, Brew, when you're saying you don't think Cubs have anything to do with it. I understand the point you're making, which is this Bears crowd is going to give them a legitimate home field advantage because of how big of a moment it is in this rivalry.
It will be the best crowd this weekend by a noticeable factor through your television.
So, all right, so I buy that. I do buy that, and I think that's one of the reasons home playoff games are so important, because I do think more so than in any other sport, it can impact the game. So I buy that piece of it. And I also do agree with Brew that it is disrespectful, and it's also something, KW, that I can't quite figure out why it's happening. Because I don't know what the Packers have done to earn this type of deference. Because I know you don't really believe in the Bears. I get that. That's fine. I don't know why anyone, though, would believe in the Packers more than the Bears. That is the piece of it, like the current Packers, not with Tucker drafting Micah Parsons is one thing, but I believe Caleb is month over month has gotten better each month, and I think that is he a fully formed player? No. Does he need to complete more passes? Yes, all of that, but he is on the right trajectory. I also think that the Bears as a team getting healthier, and maybe this sounds silly, I was really impressed by what that Bears offense did against San Francisco. And we can say that San Francisco defense is terrible. That San Francisco defense a week later held Seattle, the number 1 seed, to 13 points. Like it's not like every team was going against San Francisco was scoring 35
just Caleb
plus.
And Phillip Rivers.
But I mean, how many points that the Colts didn't score 30? They
27.
I honestly don't. I don't remember. And so I think the Bears. I think this is what the line should be about if it were in Lambeau. So the fact that it's this line in Chicago, I do think is disrespectful. My only concern is the Bears defense going to get shredded? Because I think the Bears defense give up yards, but I think Jordan Love will turn the ball over some, and I think they'll make up for it the way they have all year. If the Bears lose, I sadly feel like it will be because Caleb doesn't meet the moment. Now, I think he's going to, and I'm picking the Bears, but that would be my concern, is that Caleb starts rough, and then the moment of the playoffs comes, and he's not able to get that late game magic. That, to me, is the recipe for a Packers win, which doesn't seem, even though it's not what I'm predicting, it doesn't seem far-fetched.
I personally would be shocked if Caleb doesn't meet the moment. I think the Bears lose if their defense gets gashed. And the reason why Vegas likes the Packers a little bit, I think, is they won the first game, and then in the second game, it took an onside kick and a miracle for the Bears to win it. Like, the Bears defense is awful, but I think the Packers defense, post Micah Parsons, is just as bad, if not worse. They've allowed 20.
But you guys couldn't do much against that defense.
And until the end, no doubt. And these teams know each other very well, but they're allowing 28 points per game. They have 0 interceptions. They have 3 sacks in the 4-game losing streak heading into the playoffs. The Packers are heading into this game on a 4-game losing streak.
Right.
And the Bears are getting healthy, and they're at home. So I do, and I look good. I'm going to be sitting, I'm going to be over Ben Johnson's shoulder.
It might work against you.
They're not going to lose with me going to this game in this spot. They're not losing.
Can I ask you a question?
They're not losing.
Because it's not, there's not a ton of Chargers fans headed to New England, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think there is a decent amount of Packers fans in Chicago. Do you expect, what's the breakdown of, you said this is the best stadium. Isn't there going to be a decent amount of
It'll be 10%.
Oh, just 10?
Yeah, probably about 10%. Okay. Bears fan,
loud 10.
It'll be a loud 10. They'll be there, but cheese graters will outnumber cheeseheads.
Well, I hope so.
Well, I'm just saying, those are tough to get. They're sold out.
I was going to say,
they've been selling cheese heads
for 100 years.
Yeah, selling cheese graters for a month.
Right, moving on. Justin Herbert looking for his first playoff win against the Patriots in the maybe MVP. Here's Harbaugh on Herbert's MVP-adjacent season, Danny.
He's had a tremendous season, very, very MVP caliber in every way. Just doing anything and everything he can for this team, and he does it at the level of, only reserved for the very best in the game to do.
Herbert in the playoffs, 2 rough outings, completion percentage never cracked 58, passer rating hasn't cracked 85, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Danny, what would another poor performance mean for Justin Herbert?
Well, it would shock me, first of all, if it happened. But
can I ask you why that would shock you if he had 2 bad ones already?
Well, he's played 95 regular season games and 2 playoff games. So just on a scale and sample size issue, he's been very good in the vast majority of football games that he has played. So unless you honestly believe that Justin Herbert is just one of these guys that has like a mental block to meeting the moment, I don't. There's nothing that I've seen from his demeanor, how he's talked about it, even how he's handled the losses that would suggest that he just gets tight.
Well, last year's playoff game is a very important data point, as you would say. When you have more interceptions in a game than you had all season, that makes you a little at least concerned that it wasn't random that it happened in that game, that it was because it was a playoff game. That at least concerns you to a degree.
So listen, and I think there was a football reason for that, even though he had misses. And that was that the Texans' defensive line dominated his offensive line. He was pressured a ton in that game. Mm-hmm. And this offensive line is not good, but as we've talked about all week, the Patriots' pass rush isn't very good. They're 16th in pressures, 22nd in sacks, 23rd in hits. I don't think New England can exploit the biggest weakness of the Chargers, but also just because, I've been doing it all year. We got another Justin Herbert, Peyton Manning graphic.
I'd love it.
Okay.
I have one.
Well, let's look at the first 3 Peyton Manning playoff games. Loss, bad game, bad game.
So then what? Right.
So I'm just saying, so he could still be Peyton Manning.
No,
if he has another bad performance.
Right, but this is but hold on.
I like that. It's still on the board, Nick.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
So and again, that's fine. But you said he was Peyton Manning, and year 6 Peyton, which is year 6 for Herbert. But year 6 Peyton, what he did in his first playoff game was arguably have the best playoff game any quarterback's ever had.
But this would be Herbert's third bad playoff.
I get it. I understand because Peyton made the playoffs more often. But because you did a great job not answering the question.
Thank you.
You talked about Herbert being good when the question is about what if he's bad.
I'm saying you could still be Peyton Manning.
That's fine, but that's not you just explained how last year Justin Herbert completing 14 of 32 passes and throwing 4 interceptions was actually the left guard's fault. Fine. But but this year the Patriots don't have that Texans front. Yeah. And you would be shocked if he had a poor performance.
Shocked.
So what would it mean? It can't just be that he still can be Peyton Manning. It has to mean something more than that. Would it?
Why?
Oh, so then there's
against a Patriots team with not a strong pass rush. What you wouldn't think? Wow.
You wouldn't start.
You could justify last year's. This year's how you going to justify it if the Patriots don't
you wouldn't
put
start
pressure
to
on, and he still
think that, oh, wait, maybe he is one of those guys who is. By the way, because Peyton Manning was one of those guys. Peyton Manning was a worse playoff quarterback than regular season quarterback by a mile. Peyton Manning.
If Justin Herbert has a game where it looks like he got tight,
like last year in the playoffs.
Just performance-wise.
Danny, you and I went back and watched the interceptions.
That was tight, man.
Okay, I mean,
he made bad throws. I don't think it was because he was tight.
What's the difference between a quarterback who all year has not turned the ball over, and then in a game that it's 1st and 10 and you're up 6 and he makes a terrible decision, and then
I don't know what to tell you. I can't watch 100 games of Justin Herbert and come out of this game and all of a sudden, like, is your takeaway or is your answer to this, like, Justin Herbert's not good?
No.
You know,
but there would just be, look, Justin Herbert is very good. I mean, I'm picking him to win the game.
Yeah.
But if he has another bad playoff game, then it has to raise questions as to it. Like Nick said, is he one of those guys that just, at least for now, he could maybe get over it?
How about this, Danny? I always, this is like my Harden theory. I think Harden gets nervous because he has a lot of scar tissue and it starts to compound. If Herbert throws an interception early, are you going to just be like, yeah, happens? Like an opportunistic play by Marcus Jones, so be it. Or are you going to be like, uh-oh, here we go again for Justin Herbert?
I'll tell you this, I won't be watching with this guy.
No.
Yeah, I'll tell you that right now.
No, but hold, I want to just be serious about this just for a moment. Because Bruce said Justin Herbert's good, and you just immediately just like spit back at him. He's excellent.
Right, he's not.
Okay,
excellent
so if he loses, so again, if just stay with me for a second. If he has another bad game, which again, I don't know that anybody on the desk is predicting. For the record, we all think that like this Patriots defense is susceptible and untested against good quarterbacks, right? Other than Josh Allen. All right, good, much less excellent. But so if that ends up happening, and then there has to be some ceding of ground on how excellent the player is. If we are entering year 7, he hasn't won it because again, you're right, Peyton lost his first 3, but Peyton was actually excellent, so he was in the playoffs a lot more often than Herbert. And in year 6, he won league MVP and got to a conference championship game and had back-to-back perfect playoff games before he had a terrible one against the Patriots where they crushed him. No, actually, 06. They didn't crush him. In 06, doesn't matter. His 6th year was in 06, so they did crush him in the conference championship game. There has to be, I would think, some reevaluation of, have I overrated this player's ability, his place in the quarterback hierarchy because he throws such a pretty ball? Or else, what's the point of playing the games? Like if
it's a team game. It's
right,
not,
but we're asking if he plays poorly. We're saying if he, for the second straight year, in a game that you think they can win, that you maybe are picking them to win, if he plays poorly and they lose, how could that not make you reevaluate where he is? Just like if a player that you don't think is good all of a sudden goes on a sick playoff run and is unbelievable. Like, if that doesn't change at least possibly what you think of a player, then I don't know why we play the games.
Go ahead.
I'm just curious. So, like, if he plays poorly, you drop him to where? And if Jalen Hurts goes on a run, like you have Jalen Hurts as being better than Justin Herbert? Like, that's on the board here?
I mean,
if that happens, as a player,
if Jalen
not
Hurts
as a winner.
goes on another run
as a player
to the Super Bowl and Justin Herbert goes out with
I mean, I just to answer that question, if you're asking me, if Jalen Hurts shows up in his third Super Bowl before Justin Herbert wins his first playoff game, will I have the audacity to say, if my goal is to win Super Bowls, I'd rather have Jalen Hurts than Justin Herbert? Yes. And if your answer is no, then I don't know why they keep score. Then grade it like figure skating. Like, I mean, I think that's
I would be a great judge of that.
Time now. We went through a rough patch with Parkins Picks.
New season.
I think we are going to.
Are you still doing picks?
Great comeback. Time now for Parkins Picks.
I am seeing the NFL very clearly. This is the official pick segment. I plug into the matrix. I see the league clearly. I'm not going to let 3-0 change me. I'm not scared of picking big games. Taking the points with Detroit. Play in the wood with the Chicago Bears. Easy, easier, and easiest. I know that I'm right.
All right, Parkins Picks. It was a rough go.
It's a sad day.
Where's the crown?
The crown is gone.
Where's the stupid robe?
I told you that if you ever passed me or I lost, I would no longer be the Picks King. But I bought this chain with my winnings from being 65% last year, so the chain stays.
That's fine.
And everything else goes.
I think that's right.
I'll wear this chain as long as I'm making picks on national TV. The chain stays.
0-3 now.
Yeah, and 0-6 down the stretch. It's legitimately humiliating.
But you're back.
It came up in
I
therapy.
think you are back.
I am back. 6-0 this weekend. 13-0 is, of course, on the board. Should we go in order? The Carolina Panthers plus 10.5.
Love it.
10 and the hook is big. And I could talk about the Rams defense allowing 28 a game in the last 6, or the fact that the Panthers beat the Rams. But I'll just go history. Since 2000, if you're a road favorite by more than 5 points, you're 0-4 against the spread.
Love it.
It's tough to go on the road. Wild card weekend is a
I'm gonna
huge
take
favorite.
This guy's
and
so
win.
on tilt, he's a trends better now.
Love it.
I mean, 10.5 is pretty significant. What's the next game in order? Just throw it up there, and then I'll give you the reason. Oh, yeah, that's right, the Bears. The Packers cannot stop the run. The Bears are the best rushing team in the NFL since their bye, second best overall. Packers run defense second half of the season. Big yikes, allowing 145 yards a game. Going to be a snow game, ball on the ground.
But he used that info when you were talking about Curly Lambeau 20 minutes ago.
That was good.
I'm saving it for picks. By the way, Curly Lambeau against George Hallis. Great game. It's a good fact.
Fields against each other.
A lot of tension on this side of the desk. What's the next game? I forgot the order again. Oh, yeah, Bills minus 1.5 against Jacksonville. Here's the thing. Josh Allen, he's played 13 playoff games. Trevor Lawrence has played 2. Which quarterback has thrown more playoff interceptions? That would be Trevor Lawrence. Wow. I mean, it's kind of a mismatch there at the quarterback position if we all care, and they're all different players come the playoffs.
Who could that guy have beaten in the playoffs?
I guess
that guy must have been a real dog.
It's a team sport.
It is a team sport. Thanks, Wild, for paying attention. Next game. Why is this spread so big? Probably because laying 5.5 with Philly is obvious here. San Francisco just played one of the most physical games of the year against Seattle. Philly rested their starters. San Francisco has to fly all the way across the country to Philly for this game. Nick Sirianni blows out his opponents in home playoff games. And, oh, yeah, by the way, San Francisco, yeah, they didn't give up a ton of points to Seattle. They gave up 180 yards on the ground. And now you get Saquon Barkley, a healthy Philadelphia offensive line in Philly. Saquon goes nuts in this game. Eagles in a blowout. To the night game. Because Wilds loved it so much during pack stats, yes, I'm taking Chargers plus 3.5 against the Patriots, but how do Pro Bowl quarterbacks do against the Patriots defense? Justin Herbert's a Pro Bowl quarterback. Well, if you're a Pro Bowl quarterback, you must be successful against everybody, except the Chargers. Oh, wow, look at that. Chargers defense did not bend at all against Pro Bowl quarterbacks this year and had a 9-3 record.
Team sport.
Patriots very much
defense.
did. Team sport. Chargers defense better than the Patriots defense. I love the Chargers plus 3.5. And then on Monday, the Texans minus 3 against the Steelers. Very simple. When the Steelers play good teams, they are not competitive. 1-5 against playoff teams this year, scoring 18 points per game. Aaron Rodgers throwing for a robust 158 yards per game. They did force 5 turnovers to get their 1 win against the Patriots. Yeah, so there we go.
Really force them.
That was a cool stat.
We only have
6-0 to me.
Chargers and Bears, Danny, are
my.
the only 2 picks that you and I are aligned on.
So you guys can. Oh no, I want everybody to win. Ideally, you guys both go 4-2.
It's not possible.
Coming up next.
Oh no, that is possible.
That's
4-2. We both could.
Excellent.
That's right.
Josh Allen going Superman mode, and is that even a good thing? Willie Colon and Coach Mangini are here on First Things First Overtime after the break.
Gentlemen, we go to Jacksonville, where Josh Allen and the Bills facing the Jaguars as 1.5-point road favorites. Bills tight end Dawson Knox, though, had pretty high praise for his quarterback. Sounds like he could do one of our jobs, frankly, heading into this game. Take a listen to Knox on Good Morning Football.
Playoff speed's a real thing. I think, it's not really that you change anything throughout the week, but that mentality of like, this is what we worked the whole season for. This is what we've done all this work all year to prepare for. So now that mentality is just a little elevated. It's win or go home. So I think playoff speed's a real thing, and we're going to see Superman put on his cape this week.
So, Coach, we'll incorporate Trevor into the question here. Do you think Trevor Lawrence can keep up with Superman and Josh Allen putting on his cape?
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical, and I'm skeptical for this reason, is that we've seen this before. And 2 years ago when he had a new head coach. He got hot at the end of the season, goes into that playoff game. He has a really disappointing first half, much better second half. And you know, then we skipped 2 years where he's got 2 down years. Everybody's wondering what happens. He gets a new head coach. Now he's red hot again. And I'm not sure if he's really turned the corner yet, or whether this is just sort of the pattern that we're going to see from him over time.
Yeah, I think that's the question. Has he arrived, right? And I think for me, he has to, because I think for so long we've been talking about his potential and what he could be. Well, that conversation has expired. He has to be him for the sake of the Jaguars. And you talk about, you know, being AFC Player of the Month, being one of the hottest quarterbacks rolling into this playoffs. Like, because of his price tag and how much he's evolved and matured as a quarterback, he has to have a big game. You know what I mean? I think there can't be a question of Trevor Lawrence being Superman. I think it's more about, man, he has to win this big game because price tag, the team's on the road, the momentum they have going into this playoffs.
Listen, he's got 15 touchdowns and 1 interception in the 6 games heading in, right? So he is arguably the hottest quarterback in football. But everyone says it's a new season, it's a new element, it's a new beast, all those things. Josh Allen, I showed this to the guys during the picks. Josh Allen has played 13 playoff games to Trevor Lawrence's 2. And Josh Allen has fewer interceptions than Trevor Lawrence. There is still a huge question on whether or not Trevor Lawrence can really elevate his game come the postseason. Now, I do think there are more things to this game than just the quarterback. It's the number 1 rush offense in Buffalo against the number 1 rush defense in Jacksonville. Travis Etienne has really emerged under Liam Cohen. I think and the Bills' rush defense is terrible. So I think there's a lot of ways to help Trevor Lawrence in this spot. But that would concern me, Coach. Like, he throws picks in playoff games.
Yeah,
and he has a history of turnovers in general before Liam Cohen arrived.
That's a big concern for me. It's actually a big concern on the other side too, because every time we talk about Josh Allen putting on the cape, and he can do it as good as anybody, you want to be aggressive without being reckless, because where he's had his worst stretches is when he takes too many chances, and this is a really opportunistic Jacksonville secondary. So that's my concern from a Josh Allen perspective, and with Trevor. Is it the momentum of the season and he got hot and he's riding that, but now as the pressure ratchets up, kind of like the Sam Darnold question, can he answer this next challenge, or is he kind of going to be up and down like we saw the last playoff run?
Well, I think I'm optimistic for Trevor because we've seen signs this season of him elevating his game. Go back to the Chiefs game where he rallied late and won that game. Go when he went on the road and beat the Denver Broncos and had a big game. And now you're talking about him having the momentum going into this month and rolling into the playoffs. I feel like he's just prime. I really do. I think he's just prime for the moment. I think he's going to have a hell of a game.
The thing is that's interesting, too, is like, maybe you guys disagree. I'm positive Josh Allen will have a good game. Like, is there any scenario where Josh Allen has a bad game? I would guess you would say trying to do too much?
Yeah, that's the big issue. Because when he became the MVP last year, not because of the amount of touchdowns he threw, it's because of how much he was able to reel back his interceptions and turnovers. Yep. That was the issue the year before. He can be incredibly productive, but he can be incredibly productive for both teams. And you don't want to be a make something happen guy where you make something happen for you, but you also make something happen for your opponent.
Yeah, he's won a playoff game, at least one in 5 straight years. He's dominated bad defenses, top 10 defenses this year. There's really been nothing that's slowed him down this year.
Well, that's the big thing about this Jags pass rush. They can slow him down, right? If they force him to throw the ball within the pocket, and his superpower is his legs. If you allow him to get outside and make improv throws, man, he can kill you. So it's about containing Josh Allen and force him to beat you with his arm.
Well, Trevor Lawrence gets an opportunity to, if you outduel Josh Allen in this spot, I think obviously it changes how a lot of people talk about you. And what I will say,
until the following week where you have to outduel the next guy.
Yeah, no doubt. But I do like that Liam Cohen seems to be very much playing the nobody believes in us card.
Well, they also don't have no excuses. You have the quarterback, the coach, and the defense, right? And you're at home. Like, you got to have it. Everything is in the Jags' favor.
Yeah, I know, but Liam Cohen just went out there to the media and he was like, yeah, well, we're a home underdog. Well, like he's playing that card.
A rookie head coach versus a veteran head coach. The veteran head coach should have the edge.
Coming up, MVP Matt Stafford Is he going to win the MVP? We'll see. Does he make the biggest statement in that first game of the playoffs? We discuss. One of the great sports weekends of the year, Wild Card Weekend. 6 matchups, 12 teams, Seahawks and Broncos on a bye. Time now for the most impactful players. Which guy will be the hero for which matchup? What do we got first? We'll go in order.
Rams at Panthers, Saturday on Fox.
Puka Nacua. Devontae Adams getting healthy, that's great. Puka Nacua, simply one of the best receivers in football, and Matt Stafford has a 127.3 passer rating when targeting Puka, which is the highest quarterback-receiver duo with at least 100 targets. Puka will be first-team All-Pro. Carolina not going to have an answer for Puka Nacua.
Yeah, believe it or not, Danny, I want Puka too.
Okay, starting off in agreement.
And you know the Panthers play a lot of zone, man, and this is Puka versus the zone. He eats him up. And what he does really well, man, he not only moves the chains, but he dominates, especially you talking about touchdowns versus zones, how many yards, all that good stuff, man. Right now, Puka in the red zone is a threat too. So for me, Puka Nacua, he can have a monster game.
Chuba Hubbard.
like
Averaged 4.9 yards a carry last game, had a big reception for a touchdown last game. They ran the ball 40 times for 4.1 yard average, controlled the clock for 35 minutes. That gives them the best chance to win, not just to control the clock, but to keep Matthew Stafford off the field. And maybe we're talking about another upset.
I saw that upset alert pick, Coach. I respect it.
With Devontae Adams on the field,
he's a big game hunter, Coach. I really respect it. All right, let's go to Chicago. What's next?
Packers at Bears.
Guys, this is going to surprise you. Caleb Williams. He was made for these moments. I genuinely believe that. There's something about quarterbacks, like you can tell, do they have the it factor? This is the biggest sporting event in Chicago since 2015 Game 5 World Series for the Cubs. I mentioned it earlier. I got laughed at. I don't care. He's the only quarterback in the league with 30 or more total touchdowns and fewer than 10 turnovers. Caleb is going to ball out and carry the Bears to victory. Coach?
Jordan Love.
Uh-oh.
First game, 17 for 25, 234 yards, 3 touchdowns, a 23-yard touchdown, a 41-yard touchdown, a 45-yard touchdown. Didn't play very much in the second game, and they won in a miraculous fashion. Now he's back, and it's going to be a big problem. And he's probably a little sick and tired about hearing all about how great Caleb Williams is and how the Bears now own the division. We'll see.
Yeah, for me, it's the Bears' run game led by Monongai and Swift. They finished top 3 in rushing. And when you talk about when you have a young, confident quarterback that's, full of vigor and fight, man, one way of controlling him and his emotions is being able to run the ball. And you talk about right now, Caleb, if he's not able to beat him, at least you can stabilize the offense with a run game and you shrink the playbook, control the time of possession, allow your defense. Hopefully they can show up in the situational football. But I got a lot of faith in this Bears running game.
Talking about, Willie. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go to Jacksonville.
Bills at Jaguars.
Key to the game. This one's not very original either, I got to be honest. Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. Destroyed top 10 defenses this year, completed 72% of his passes with a 100 passer rating. Jaguars are a top 10 defense, so that challenge is not going to be overwhelming for him. In the wild card round since 2020, 71% completion percentage, 17 touchdowns, only 3 turnovers. Bills averaging 34 a game. I just think Josh Allen is primed to go on a run. Does he make it to the Super Bowl? Will he get criticized when they lose? Of course. Is the defense a problem? Yeah. But Josh Allen is going to show up, so I believe the Bills will win because behind Josh Allen.
Yeah, I got Jags defense, man. They're at home. They got the number 1 defense in the league, number 1 rush defense, that is.
Yeah.
And on top of that, what they do well is they get after the quarterback, especially led by Trayvon Walker. I think right now, if you're talking about what the Bills do well, they rush the ball and they get after, they attack the edges. If the Jags are able to control the edges, make this a phone booth fight, force James Cook into cutback lanes where the help is coming, this could be a long day for the Jags. And listen, Josh Allen, he can create with his legs. Don't let him do it. Get after him.
Yeah, I'm going Trevor Lawrence. And I think you're right. I think Josh Allen is going to have a really good game. And what I'm hoping for is I'm hoping that we see the Trevor Lawrence that we saw against the Denver Broncos.
Sure.
That game, to me, gave me the most hope that Trevor has really transitioned.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was able to beat them at home, broke their home streak against a ridiculously good defense, and he did in big size, 23 for 36, 3 touchdowns that game, 115 quarterback rating. I didn't see that coming, and the fact that he was able to do that, to me, gives me hope that he's going to be able to duel with Josh Allen.
So you guys both have the Jaguars winning this game?
I have the Jags winning. I do.
Okay.
No, I don't have the Jags winning.
You don't?
I just want to see Trevor play really well.
Aren't the Bills 0-4 on road playoff games? Something like that?
Well, listen, Will. Okay. Listen, it's just,
I just wanted to throw. I didn't know if that was something we talked about as a group.
No, it's a trend.
Okay.
It's a trend. So you get Trevor Lawrence being impactful, but the Bills ultimately winning.
Yes.
All right, I follow. What's next?
49ers at Eagles Sunday on Fox.
So for me, this one is going to come down to Saquon Barkley and the Eagles rushing attack. This game to me is going to look like we're going to be like, is this 2025 Eagles or 2024 Eagles? I think it's a bit of a throwback game for them. The Niners are coming off of maybe the most physical game that was played in the NFL this year, their game against Seattle. And Philly got to rest guys last week. San Francisco has to travel across the country. San Francisco just allowed 180 rushing yards to Seattle. You get Lane Johnson back, Eagles offensive line's healthy, Saquon gets to sit, Saquon has burst, Philly just turns around and gives it to Saquon. I think Saquon has an absolutely monstrous game in this spot. He ran for 100 or more yards in each of the Eagles' first 3 playoff games last year leading up to the Super Bowl, Coach.
Yeah, I went with Saquon as well, and talk about a disappointing season. Almost 1,000 yards less rushing than last season, a yard and a half less per carry than last season. And I don't necessarily think he needs to have a monster game, but he needs to have a really good game. And there needs to be one explosive run, because if the Eagles fall into this being a 40-plus attempt game for Jalen Hurts, I don't think that's going to work out well for him. So as long as he can, it doesn't have to carry the whole load, but he's got to spearhead this attack and keep it nice and balanced where the Eagles want to be.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page. I have Jalen Hurts, but I also think right now if he can go from being just a game manager to a bulldozer where he's a legit dual threat and have more scripted runs for him, I think the Eagles roll. I think right now, you know what the Niners do. They can't get home with their front four. They don't blitz a lot. They pretty much play a bend but don't break defense. If Jalen Hurts can just play efficient, play on time and competent, and play 4 quarters of football, you can't disappear in the second half like he did against the Bills. It can't happen in this playoff game because you know what Purdy and this offense can do when they get hot. So for me, it's about Jalen Hurts.
I think there's so many different things we could have picked in this spot. It's a cliche, not who you play, but when you play them.
Sure.
Niners are banged up. That Trent Williams injury, I know he practiced, but it could easily be limited in this spot. Eagles getting healthier.
There's no linebacker from their original 53-man roster that's healthy right now.
Yeah, the Niners are they've been banged up all year. The Eagles' defense is healthy.
Yep.
Their Eagles' defense has been incredible. Again, they're getting healthier. Niners banged up. I really like Philly in this spot. To the Sunday night game.
Chargers at Patriots.
It's going to shock you. But I'm going with Justin Herbert.
Oh!
I think in order for the Chargers to win, he will need to be excellent. And the Chargers have a serious offensive line problem. But they did this by design, resting guys against Denver in Week 18. Yes, so Justin Herbert would not get hurt, but also say they would play the team with the worst pass rush. The team that is 16, 22nd, and 23rd in pressures, hits, and sacks. They are not a good pass rush, New England. The Chargers will be able to mitigate some of their problems on the offensive line. This will be the first truly great playoff game of Justin Herbert's career. I think Justin Herbert gets it done.
Yeah, for me, it's about the Chargers and their run game. You talked about
Hampton.
Yeah, you talked about Marlon Hampton. If they can get him going, man, that takes a lot of pressure off Justin Herbert from being the end-all, be-all. They can run the ball. They finished 12th in the league in rushing. If they can get 4.5 a pop out of them, maybe 20-plus yards, carries that is, I can see this Chargers team really rolling the pass. The problem with the Chargers right now, they just take too long to get going, right? They got to start fast, especially against a Pats team that's going to be ready to fight.
Yeah, I went in a different direction here. I went the offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, for the Patriots. And here's why. I think that going into this game and having your first playoff game, there can be a lot of angst, there can be a lot of pressure, and Josh is going to do a good job of taking that off of Drake Maye. Right. So it's going to be screens, whether it's wide receiver screens, tight end screens, classic screens, quick throws, max protection, hard sell play action shots, all those things that are going to give him a chance to make plays and get going without putting them at a huge risk from a sack perspective. And that's been their Achilles heel throughout the year. And that, to me, is how the game could get ruined, is those strip sacks or something like that. So I think Josh gives Drake Maye some opportunities to get into a rhythm before he really takes the reins off or loosens the reins.
Spoken like a true coach,
like
right
a coach.
there. Finally, to Monday night in Pittsburgh.
Here we go.
Texans at Steelers.
So I'm going to choose Will Anderson Jr. of the Houston Texans. So Aaron Rodgers, under pressure this season, completes 39% with a 59 passer rating, with a 102 passer rating when not pressured. But Aaron Rodgers, everyone says, well, he doesn't get pressured because it's snap, throw, snap, throw, snap, throw. Will Anderson, third in the NFL in quick pressures, registering a pressure in 2.5 seconds or less. Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter is the worst possible matchup for 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers. I think Will Anderson, one of the best defensive players in football. I think he wrecks the game, Willie.
Yeah, I got T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt playing in this game, he had an okay game last time up, but this is a game where he has to wreak havoc. When you talk about putting pressure on C.J. Stroud, he's going to throw you one or two if they're able to condense the pocket and speed his process up. So I'm going with T.J. Watt and the Steelers defense.
Yeah, to me, it's C.J. Stroud. In his last 6 starts, he's only been over a 90 quarterback rating in 2 out of those 6 games. Houston's defense is going to hold up their end of the bargain. He's got to hold up his end of the bargain and recapture a little bit of that magic from his rookie season.
Willie, when you and I bet on Bears Steelers, you paid up that bet, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. When I bet Greg Jennings on the first Bears-Packers game, I paid up the bet.
What you did?
Well, you don't put on cheesehead. I don't see Greg Jennings out here. I don't see him. We might have to right that wrong in a truly great moment in television history. Coming up on the OT. Stay tuned. These teams play again in 2 weeks on the Friday show. Leading into it, if the Bears win, you have to do this segment as Mike Ditka.
Love it.
If the Packers win, I have to wear a cheese head and do the whole get up. Talk about your all-time backfires.
We got to top this off one time. Corrado! Yeah, baby!
Double or nothing. If they play in the playoffs, we've got to run it back.
I kind of want to sit and bask in this.
All right. Coward.
But because I do this, double it up.
Yeah, that's what I like to see. The moment we've been waiting for, folks. Here we go. Where's Greg Jet? Yeah!
Dump it out. Hello. We got
wide
the
out.
stash. Look at that.
A man of his word.
Round of applause for that, man.
That's a Packers Hall of Famer dressed as Mike Ditka right there. If I never accomplish anything else in national television, I'm an icon for this, Greg. Thank you, sir.
Way to pay up, Greg.
Hey, what can I say? I'm holding the L like a champ, or like a chump, or like a dick.
It's a good look. It's a good look on you, man. It's a good look.
I would prefer to be in cheese, but it is what it is. We got Saturday night.
We do have Saturday night, and I just want you to know that I will be wearing this row 1 behind the Bears bench Saturday night. I'm flying in tomorrow for the game, so I don't know if you need to factor that into your analysis, but I let Ben Johnson know I'd be looking over his shoulder the whole game, so he better only call the good plays Saturday night, because I'll be there.
Well, I feel like I got to do this because of the stash. Well, since you're going to be behind the bench, I'm excited about our chances because the last time they got that win, you weren't there. So you being present might bode for us. Might bode well for us. So I'm excited. How do I look, Coach?
I think you look great. I think the fact that Jordan Love will be present for hopefully the whole game, that could bode well for you too, Greg.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was
I'm hoping so.
Greg, how itchy is that stash?
You know, I'm not accustomed to this type of thick stash going over the top lip.
Okay.
But it's not bad right now.
It looks like a look for you for the future, maybe.
Well, slow down now, Willie. Slow down. Slow down.
I'm just curious. I mean, triple or nothing? What do we got going on this playoff game? I'm just saying.
Run it back.
You want to run it back?
Greg, you're good.
You got to run it back.
You got to run it back.
All about running it back.
Yeah.
All right, so we're running it back as if I needed more at stake in this game. I already bought the tickets, bought the plane tickets. Now I got to maybe wear a cheesehead again on TV. Well, run the outfits back. Cheesehead v. Ditka next week.
You got to crank it up.
Well, and
I kind of like to crank it up.
Yeah, crank it up. All right, well, throw out a steak. I don't know. I feel like a steak. He doesn't go out to restaurants.
Greg, is there anything that you would like?
Steak.
You eat steak? All right, great.
Absolutely.
Meal and a steak.
Wait, but does the person have to eat the steak in the outfit? You got to go to the steak restaurant in the outfit?
There you go. Book it. Little ribeye with a mustache.
I'm
It's delicious, Greg.
I'm all in.
Go Bears. I'll see y'all in Chicago. Saturday night.